boarded Air Force One overnight for the long trip home from South Korea, telling reporters along the way that the meeting with Chinese President Xi Jinping was a roaring success.
He's a great leader of a very powerful, very strong country in China.
Okay, the niceties aside, both sides really lowered the temperature, with China agreeing to buy U.S. soybeans and allow the export of rare earth elements.
Fox's Doug Luzader. The president also told reporters he's lowered the tariff punishing China for the flow of the deadly drug fentanyl into the U.S. from 20 to 10%. And President Trump also says while he was in South Korea, he talked with Canada's Prime Minister Mark Carney.
We had a very nice conversation with him last night.
This days after the president halted all trade negotiations with Canada, angry over an anti-tariff TV ad that Ontario's government paid for in the U.S. featuring former President Reagan. President Trump also ordering the U.S. to restart nuclear weapons testing. Fox's Carly Shimkus reads his Truth Social post.
Because of other countries' testing programs, I have instructed the Department of War to begin testing our nuclear weapons on an equal basis. That process will begin immediately.
The U.S. hasn't done those tests in 33 years, and it's day 30 of the government shutdown. Still a stalemate over funding in Congress. At baseball's World Series, a great start and finish for the Blue Jays. Homering on the first pitch, and then again 2 pitches later.
Now Vlad Jr. hooks a ball down the left field line. They've got back-to-back to start Game 5.
No team has ever started a World Series game like that, and it was the only offense Toronto needed, though they did score more in a 6-1 win over Los Angeles on Fox, giving the Blue Jays a 3-2 series lead over the defending champion Dodgers. America's listening to Fox News.
I'm Emily Campagno, and I'm taking you inside the Idaho murders. In Moscow, Idaho, a small college town, one case so violent and heartbreaking shocked the nation. 4 students were found brutally murdered in their off-campus home, prompting a cross-country search for the cold-blooded killer. The Fox True Crime Podcast presents Inside the Idaho Murders. The evidence, the manhunt, the killer, and the victims.
Listen and follow now at foxtruecrime.com. Every weekday, it's your go-to source for staying informed and entertained. The Fox News Primetime Highlights Podcast, offering a curated selection of the most impactful moments of the Ingram Angle, Jesse Waters Primetime, Hannity, and Gutfeld. Listen and follow now so you never miss a moment of the action-packed highlights from these must-watch Fox News Channel shows. Go to foxnewspodcasts.com or wherever you listen to podcasts. America's listening to Fox News.
For 97.1 FM Talk, I'm Dan Buck. It is 5:03, and we've got a cool 40-degree start as you get out the door on this Thursday morning. An Illinois jury in Sangamon County convicted 31-year-old sheriff deputy of second-degree murder. That's a lesser charge than he was originally indicted. Deputy Sean Grayson was convicted of the July 2024 shooting death of Sonia Macy, a black woman who had called 911 to report a suspected prowler. She had grabbed a hot pot of boiling water, which sparked Grayson to shoot her. He could be sentenced for up to 20 years. Following a brief police chase, 3 juveniles are in custody and considered the lead suspects in a gun store burglary Tuesday morning in St. Charles County. Investigators say multiple firearms that had been stolen from Crown Guns in St. Charles were recovered from the suspect's car. A second vehicle that was used in the burglary was also recovered, but no suspects were apprehended in that discovery. Food donations are being encouraged by area food banks in anticipation of huge demand as the Supplemental Nutritional Assistance Program, known as SNAP, gets halted due to the government shutdown effective on Saturday. Food Outreach, St. Louis Area Food Bank, and numerous church pantries are all calling for community members to drop off donations over the next week to help meet the surging demand that is expected as 650,000 Missourians lose their grocery assistance beginning Saturday. In sports, the Dodgers are on the ropes after Toronto hammered the Dodgers last night in Game 5, 6-1 the final. The Blue Jays now return home. They need only one win over L.A. in Game 6 or Game 7 to give Toronto their first World Series title since 1993. That's your headlines. I'm Dan Buck for 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
The rain is done. Hard to believe after the last week or so. Our rainfall amounts for the year are now a little bit above average. Sunny skies in control. It's a chilly 58 degrees. Tonight, clear and cold, 40. Friday, sunny, breezy, 60 degrees. Trick-or-treat time. Friday evening, upper 40s, low 50s. Overnight, 41 degrees. Kind of a chilly weekend coming up Saturday and Sunday. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Again, a very cool start. Just 40 degrees out there this morning. As you get out the door, don't forget you can take that Marc Cox morning show and all the great programming here on 97.1 FM Talk with you anytime, anywhere you go. All you have to do is go out and download the free Odyssey app.
The Marc Cox Morning Show is brought to you by Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group, retirementkey.com.
This is the Marc Cox Morning Show.
Good morning to you. Welcome in on this Thursday. Glad that you're with us here this morning. It just seems bright in here this morning. Look at this 97.1 sign behind me here on the live stream.
It's bright.
Everything is bright.
Speaking of live stream, I got to bring mine up.
Little too early in the morning. Dan Buck, how you doing this morning?
I am good.
Doing
Thursday.
good?
It's Halloween Eve,
vacation Eve.
For
some
me.
of us.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
I'll be going on a hiatus all next week. I'll be down in Florida playing some old man baseball.
Wow.
That's right. MSBL. Actually, it's not MSBL. This one is called the Roy Hobbs Tournament. 72 teams from across the country come in to play in a 53 and over tournament, and we're back to try to defend a title. So,
somebody got a bat with a lightning bolt on it?
Yeah, it's all wood. It's all wood bats. Some guys do carve up their own bats.
Really?
Yeah, they really do. They have lathes. They take it serious. But
Holy cow.
me, I'm a store-bought guy. Or actually, I order online. So.
Well, here's the thing. I think maybe at some point in the middle of the week next week, you need to call us with an update.
Okay, I'm happy to
we'll
do
make
that.
You'll be an hour ahead of us. So if we get you in the 8 o'clock hour, you'll be up.
Oh, yeah.
Because it'll be 9
We
there.
have 10 o'clock games, so I'm usually heading to the ballpark by 8:30 or so.
Sure.
Yeah.
You'll be out there limbering up, trying to loosen up so you don't tear anything.
Yeah. We have the potential, like last year, when you go to the title game, you'll play 9 games in 6 days. So your body's like in traction by the end of the week. It's like you can barely, get out of bed. So.
Yeah, but when you're the defending champs, is there a bigger target on your back?
Oh, yeah. Everybody wants a piece of you. That's right. So pool play is even pretty treacherous, and we've been there before. We've won several. St. Louis has really got a ton of respect in the adult baseball community. We've got a lot of people in this town who play, and we kind of take I wouldn't call it an all-star team. It's made up of primarily about 2 teams, but we do pick up players because you need a lot of bodies. I mean, nobody can play that many games in their entirety, so we take down about 20 guys, 22 guys per roster. And we use them all. Everybody, you're playing as many innings as your body will allow because, especially if you're an outfielder and you're running around a lot, you get pretty darn sore.
Oh, I'll bet you do.
Yeah,
I don't know how you do that, I'll be honest with you. But just to put it in perspective, these are people from all across the country who got together, and your team was the winner of all of it last year.
Yeah.
And you're batting like 700, is that what you told me?
No. I said I had a good league where I hit 650, I think, in the league this year in the 60 division. In the 50s,
that's all right, man.
I think I hit 520, something like that.
You're the Shohei Ohtani of the team. You ought to pitch, too. You ought to be pitching, too.
Well, keep in mind, hitting keeps getting, I wouldn't say better, but you don't lose the skill of hitting. If you can hit, you can hit. But what happens is the pitching declines.
Oh.
You go from having to face, when I was playing in the 40s and 30 divisions years ago, guys could still bring it. I mean, heck, I still
throwing 80 miles an hour?
Oh, mid-80s, yeah. But as you get older, I mean, you don't see a fastball above 75. So, it's a much easier target. you're going after pitches that you have to wait on and feast on.
I was not. Well, I mad respect for the fact that you still do that at a high level. Honestly, I'm not being trite about that. I couldn't do it. I went to a amateur pro-am baseball game for charity a few years back at that Car Shield Field, and they had Brad Thompson, who was just a few years retired at that point, was pitching for the other team. And I didn't see the ball leave his hand. I heard it slap into the glove behind me, and I looked down, and the guy had the ball, and I'm like, how? I didn't see the damn ball. I didn't even see the ball. So
it sounded like a strike.
And I went into the I think maybe I'm trying to remember who was pitching for us, former Cardinal. I'll think of his name in a minute. But I went in, I'm like, how fast do you think Thompson's still throwing? He goes, oh, he's in the high 80s. And I'm like, holy cow. And these guys are hitting 95-mile-an-hour fastballs in the big leagues.
I know,
holy
Brad.
cow.
Was he really bringing it to a bunch of amateurs at that hard?
He said, I know he can still throw it in the high 80s. I have no idea, Dan. I didn't have a radar gun on it.
It just looked
All I know is some people can see the lines on the balls that's coming at them. I didn't even see the ball. So that's a problem.
Funny.
I did finally foul. I fouled one off, so I made contact before I struck out. So that was okay.
That's funny. I played one of those fantasy camps one time, and first time up, John Tudor's just flipping them up there. He was the fantasy camp pitcher, former Cardinal pitcher.
Yeah.
And he's just flipping them up there, and I hit a ball really hard, like in the gap, and one hop the wall. And next time up, he throws the first one at my head, and then he bears down, and he's still throwing like 82, 83. But his hook, I've never seen a curveball. That's why after college I didn't go any farther, because I could never hit that curveball. It was like off a table, a 12-6, and it just disappeared. I was like, man, it was there, and then it wasn't, But the difference between that level of play and what we play. Now, we do have, former big league players who we play against. I've been down there at base Darryl Strawberry. There's guys who've gone down after their playing days are over and still play in these leagues. Ricky Mailer, the Necro brothers have played down there.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Knuckleballing it down there.
Oh, yeah.
Huh? Oh, yeah.
Phil, yeah.
I remember those guys.
Yeah, and we Oil Can Boyd, remember him?
I do.
He could still bring it. I faced him several times back when he was playing in the league. So, yeah, so you play guys, and again, hitters can keep playing. Guys who are in the big leagues, it's easy for them to come out. Pitchers, their arms are usually shot by like 50 years old.
I can imagine.
Yeah, they can't keep going. So
says me who winces in pain when I reach for the high shelf to get something. I'm feeling you. I am feeling it. All right, we got a good show for you today. We're going to, the SNAP benefits, the Schumer shutdown is going to cause little children to start starving on Saturday. So what these Democrats have managed to do is work the country into a frenzy for no reason whatsoever. They could have the government, they could have refunded it 29 days ago with no change in what we were doing, but they wouldn't do that because, as they've now admitted, they needed this because they have no other leverage, and this is the only way they could get health care for illegal aliens is to starve little children. That starts Saturday. And it's ugly. And you know what it's going to mean? It's going to mean these local food banks have a lot more demand because people are going to have to eat. And we're going to talk to the folks from Operation Food Search a little later this morning. A couple of easy ways you can donate if you'd like to donate, besides just loading your car up with food and then driving it down there. They take cash donations as well to try to help people out through all of this. So we'll get to more on that later. We've got the Missouri Attorney General, Catherine Hanaway, is going to call in here because there's a new sheriff in town. Actually, the current sheriff is in jail, and they've appointed a temporary sheriff, as you probably heard reported. Catherine Hanaway has played a role in all of that, and we're going to get the Attorney General on here this morning in the 7 o'clock hour. Of course, Shannon Bream, Griff Jenkins, Tommy Ackerman will be in here about 6:35 as well. So we got lots of good stuff for you. Right now, let's get to our top stories, please.
The Marc Cox Shortlist, presented by Rhino Shield.
The subpoena requested records and communications related to over 430 individual and organizations. All of them appear to be aimed at Republicans.
Wow, pretty shocking stuff yesterday there from, how old is Chuck Grassley now? Is he 90? That dude is getting up there, man.
Yeah,
he was pointing out this Operation Arctic Freeze, which oddly enough, a Democratic special prosecutor, Jack Smith, only seemed to be targeting Republicans and Republican members of Congress. On top of that, it's the Watergate of the Biden era.
We're day 29 of the shutdown. It's a soap opera. If I were naming this soap opera, I'd call it As the Stomach Turns.
Yeah, Senator Kennedy back at it again. Here we go, 29 days. I really think they're going to wait till Monday or Tuesday when people panic. There are riots in the street over the snap cards, and then they're going to come back. I hope the Republicans hold firm. This is not their fault.
I never want to wake up. And so far, I've never woken up and thought to myself, how do I make myself president of the United States? What I wake up and think to myself is, how do I do a good job as vice president?
Which he's doing, by the way. He was at a TPUSA event yesterday with Erica Kirk and just crushing it. He was standing up taking questions. The vice president of the United States.
It was wild.
Remember the last one, the word salad, the Venn diagrams, all that stuff? He stood up and took individual questions randomly
for an hour
from students in the audience.
For an entire hour. It was awesome.
Something to watch.
And all my MAGA friends who are, cheering on these illegal killings need to imagine who gets killed when President Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez says that it doesn't matter what the law says. She's going to do what she's going to do.
Jim Himes, he's a left-winger from Connecticut, says last night, you better quit blowing up these drug boats because it's illegal. You think it's okay now, but what about when Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is president and she's blowing up, I don't know, diesel engine trucks? I mean, what was he suggesting there? That you think it's okay now, but when a Democrat president's doing it, you're not going to be okay with it. If we could find a Democrat president with the cojones to attack the drug cartels on their home base, I'm all for it.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm not too worried about that, and it's certainly not the brainless one, AOC. So that is not a big concern. I think that was a dumb statement.
Yeah, it is.
Actually.
Big show ahead, brother. We've got a lot of good stuff.
We got lots of stuff here.
Yep.
We're looking forward to it. We're going to get to a quick break, and we'll be back right after our national anthem.
Say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars
traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Well, good morning. We've got the signals on red flash this morning. 141 at 64, so just be careful through there. And a stall eastbound 64 past 94, but that one has been on the left shoulder. Other than that, it's completely quiet. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
My friends at Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation, ready to get you in your comfort zone, whatever that happens to be. I know for my family at home, they would love it to be a couple of degrees warmer in our house, which it could be, but I'm trying to tell them, hey, you know, put a sweatshirt on. You'll be fine. I've got one of their high-efficiency systems with a heat pump. This thing is great, saves us on energy all year around because it's a brand new furnace and air conditioner I had put in a year ago by Air Comfort and could not be happier. There's Cool Cash right now available to you. There are rebates, of course, and you need to talk to my friends at Air Comfort because they will get you set up and it just honestly was a smooth operation. They've already been out to check it for me this year as part of their preferred partner plan. You can be on that as well. It's not unique to me. It's $19 a month. You get priority service if something goes wrong. You get discounts on parts and labor if something happens, and they automatically come out and check the system in the fall and in the spring. So we just had our check about a month ago. Everything is perfect and ready to keep us nice and toasty and warm as the colder weather gets here. You're going to love what Corey has done with this company. Fantastic. They've been in business over 55 years, taking care of people everywhere in the sound of my voice. If you need a heating and air conditioning guy, call these folks here. They're going to take care of you at Air Comfort Service. 314-513-0091. I would keep that number handy just in case you need it. They do emergency service as well. That's 513-0091 or online anytime at aircomfortservice.com.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com or call us toll-free at 888-367-6512.
Annie Fry here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how linking to the market is much safer than owning the market for your retirement savings. They are the official financial advisors of my show. Go to retirementkey.com.
License number E2014A.
Hey, it's good to see you.
Lights flickering?
Grasser can fix it.
Breaker keeps tripping?
That's a Grasser job.
Outlet not working?
Grasser makes it right.
Old wiring need a rewire?
Grasser rewires with care.
From little fixes to major fixes.
Even the tricky ones.
We treat your home like our own.
Treat? Did you say treat?
Green is always Grasser at GrasserHomeservices.com.
This is the Marc Cox Morning Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
The subpoena requested records and communications related to over 430 individual and organizations. All of them appear to be aimed at Republicans. A subpoena to Event Strategies requested records relating to Turning Point USA and the Republican Attorney General's Association. One subpoena to Apple sought records relating to Trump and the January 6th prison choir.
Can you believe this? What they have uncovered in this Operation Arctic Blast is separate from everything else you can think of. The Mueller report, the fake Steele dossier, the cover-up of Joe Biden's rapid mental decline, all of that. Beside all of that, this right here is the smoking gun for the lawfare that has happened in this country under Joe Biden. This is it. This is the use of the Department of Justice to persecute your political enemies. And some people are looking at me, probably listening to me right now, Dan, thinking, well, that's not a surprise. They've been doing that to Trump for 10 years. Well, they have. But here's what you need to understand. In the middle of Joe Biden's administration, the Jack Smith case didn't come along until they started getting worried that Donald Trump might run for re-election. And they decided to sic a biased, left-wing, hardcore prosecutor to do everything they could to destroy Donald Trump by trying to accuse him of starting the riots on January 6th, they, of course, which is BS, because I was there on the ellipse listening to his speech. He didn't do that. That's not what happened. There's no evidence that that's what happened. So they start subpoenaing telephone records of every Republican group and thing they can find related to that day, all on a search and destroy mission to prosecute their political opponent. And now maybe today you look at this and you realize, well, I know why they were so afraid of him, because he's been the most effective president in my lifetime in getting things done and doing what's best for America, which is not making the government bigger and wasting trillions of dollars overseas that, coincidentally, got funneled back to Democrats in this country.
Right.
This is huge, and I don't know how to say it any better.
You called it that this is the Watergate of the Biden administration.
This is it.
I would argue it's 10 times, 20 times worse than what Nixon did in Watergate.
Well, I agree. I mean, I'm not equating it that it's
but it's
only
that kind
like
of a scandal. Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, there are members of our mainstream media who still refuse to pick this story up. Can you believe that? This is the story of the century if you're a political reporter. Like, wait a minute, you're telling me that an entire branch of the federal government was looking into the affairs of dozens, if not hundreds, of organizations and political enemies of one of the parties and spending our resources to basically do the dirty work and the surveillance and the spying and the name smearing. I mean, think of the lives that they went after, all the J6ers, all of the TPUSA people. I mean, it is so appalling that our federal government did this to thousands of Americans when you start factoring in these organizations, that they literally went on a witch hunt of their political enemies.
The subpoenas
people should be outraged.
Requested records and communications related to over 430 individuals and organizations, all aimed at Republicans. Operation Arctic Frost was a taxpayer-funded witch hunt launched in April of 2022 when they realized Donald Trump was thinking of running against them again. They couldn't stand it. They sought to destroy him. That's what the Biden DOJ did.
And the swamp raised up to stop it.
Take your claims of lawfare by the Trump people and shove it. We'll be back in just a minute.
If you suffer from burning, tingling, or numb feet, pay special attention as we discuss neuropathy with Dr. Patton, D.C. Doctor, what is neuropathy?
Peripheral neuropathy is nerve damage to the feet and legs.
What are the symptoms?
The symptoms are numbness, burning, tingling, pain, and loss of balance.
Is neuropathy treatable?
It's absolutely treatable, and we have amazing results.
If you have burning, tingling, numbness, coldness in your feet or hands or balance issues, call us at Comprehensive Integrated Health today for a nerve damage screening. The screening will tell if you're at risk for serious complications and if you're a candidate for our cutting-edge treatment program. Don't wait until your symptoms are so severe nothing can be done. End-stage neuropathy leaves people confined to walkers, wheelchairs, and even amputations. The first 10 callers will receive a free nerve damage screening. Call 636-538-5188. That's 636-538-5188 for your free nerve damage screening. 636-538-5188.
All right, let's talk about my friends at the Show Me Institute. You know, we do a lot of stuff around here about free markets and liberty and all of that stuff. And this is the biggest free market think tank in the state of Missouri, right here in St. Louis. They try to get a reduction in the size of government at all levels and tax reform at all levels, and they do so largely through transparency. Because if you shine the light of day on a lot of these organizations, you realize exactly how much waste and abuse is going on in our schools, in our local governments. They have a transparency project to try to make sure you understand how your local elected officials are spending your money. So if you're interested in issues like that, it's a great resource. Go to showmeinstitute.org. There's a button right at the top where you can support them. Again, love them over at showmeinstitute.org.
I'm Stuart Varney, and this is the Fox Business Report.
More tech giants are reporting earnings today after the Wall Street close. Investors are waiting for the updates from Apple and Amazon. Apple shares have been getting a boost from reports of upbeat iPhone 17 sales. Amazon revealed this week it is cutting 14,000 corporate jobs. Gregory Farinello, head of U.S. rates at Amerivet Securities, says investors will be looking for how artificial intelligence demand impacted the quarter, but that's not the whole story.
It's part of your portfolio. You need to have it as a core part of your portfolio, but you probably need to diversify within AI in and of itself.
Also reporting today, Eli Lilly, crypto exchange Coinbase, Hershey, MasterCard, Kimberly-Clark, Merck, and others. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola. Invested in you.
When I started skiing, I didn't think about setting any records. When I won my first race, I didn't think about how many more I might win. So when I made it to the top of the world, it never crossed my mind to stop. Being the best isn't the same as being your best. There are no shortcuts to the top, so find the people who help get you there. I'm Michaela Schifrin, and that's what Team Stiefel means to me. If you're an advisor or an investor, choose Stiefel, where success meets success.
Stiefel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE.
Past performance is no indication of future results. Investing involves risk. Consult a financial advisor before making any investment.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
We do have a delay this morning on eastbound 370. It's slowing on either side of 141, and I can't tell, it's so dark out, whether it is construction or there's a stall, but expect a slow go through there where you usually would not see one. And other than that, we're in good shape, although don't forget the signals have been on red flash this morning. 141 at 6440. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
All right, Veterans Day is upon us. It's coming up, I think, in early November, November 11th, I think it is. I'll double-check the calendar. But regardless, my friends at Hanson's Tree Service are doing something bigger than that. In honor of Veterans Day, they're going to serve our soldiers. They call it Operation SOS. And you have an opportunity right now, if you know a needy military family or a veterans family that could use some work in their yard, some tree service, Hanson's is going to do that. You just have to nominate them. They're going to make that easy for you. You just nominate your hero veteran today at hansonstree.com, and then they'll take it over from there. They're going to pick several great families that need this, that could use this, and they're going to go out and they're going to do tree care for them, which might include removing old dead trees on the property or trimming or stump grinding or whatever it happens to be. That's what they're going to do. But they want you to nominate people because they're going to have trouble finding people that need this help. So go to their website. I love that Chad Hanson is doing this in honor of our veterans who've all given so much for this country. Thank you all for your service. Go on their website today at hansonstree.com.
We've been here 30 years, 30 Christmases in this house, and we have the traditions that most families have.
That's Terry talking about her experience with Rhino Shield ceramic coating.
We did Rhino Shield 14 years ago, and the house still looks the same as the first day. Rhino Shield really worked with me to help me get just the right nice soft yellow, and it's 14 years later, and it's the same color.
The main reason Terry called Rhino Shield is because it's backed by its 25-year transferable warranty.
It just sounded wonderful that we could have the house coated with Rhino Shield and not have to worry about it again for 25 years.
Take it from Terry. Give Rhino Shield a call now for a free evaluation. 877-25-RHINO. 877-25-RHINO or visit 877-25rhino.com.
There have been neighbors that have come by and said, "Did you just have your house painted?" Because they wanted to know who the contractor was. And I said, "No, it's actually Rhino Shield."
877-25rhino.com.
97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis conservative. Buck don't give a f.
It is our Thankful Thursday, and on Thankful Thursday, normally I go out, find somebody on social media, then I'm just thankful for them, for their message, for the truth that they're telling. Today, though, I'm going to a guy that I'm just thankful that he's the Vice President of the United States of America, because what I witnessed last night at the TPUSA event at Ole Miss as I watched our Vice President take the stage, he gave a message, and then in true honor of Charlie Kirk, he sat there for 1 hour and allowed college students to step up to the mic. He encouraged people who had opposing viewpoints to go to the front of the line. He didn't want a bunch of yes people. He wanted to be challenged. In front of 10,000 people, the Vice President of the United States made himself that vulnerable to say, "I'm willing to take whatever you got. Bring it forward." He had you could tell everybody stepping up there, he didn't have a list of questions or knew what was coming at him. And he just stood there and so articulately dissected the position of this administration, of his own personal beliefs. He covered everything from his faith to abortion to foreign affairs. And the clip we're going to use was a kind of a funny little guy who actually, I think, has comedic aspirations. And he asked the question about the National Guard going into communities. Is it dangerous for us to do such a thing when we know that our opposition could do the same thing? Here's the question, but listen to the answer of JD. And I think it's bold how he sets up the fact that we can't be fearful of what a future Democratic generation or a Democratic leader might do to us. We've got to do what's necessary now. So here is your Vice President of the United States fielding a question at Ole Miss last night, and I'm just thankful on this Thursday that he is our Vice President of the United States. Hit it.
What is the difference between what you're doing and how could we prevent someone from abusing that power?
Yeah, so look, I understand where the question is coming from, and I think it's a fair question. And it's going to sound like I'm being sarcastic, and it really is not meant in any offense. But when you talk about what could another administration do, to take a wild, hypothetical example totally off the top of my head, what if Joe Biden sent the Federal Bureau of Investigation to start arresting his political opponents? Okay? So here's something that I want conservatives, I want every conservative to remember. It's an important part of my entire political philosophy is we cannot be afraid to do something because the left might do it in the future. The left is already going to do it regardless of whether we do it. That is the takeaway of the last 40 years.
Amen to that. And I just loved as he stood up there, you could tell every answer was an insightful, truly belief at his core. He didn't sugarcoat stuff.
He didn't have notes. He didn't need notes. Could you imagine Kamala Harris doing something like that? She wouldn't even let journalists ask her a question, let alone members of the audience.
How about AOC? Could you literally see AOC sitting up there taking completely blind questions about everything from her personal life? And then one question was about how he and his wife, who grew up in different religions, have different religions. She grew up Hindu. She's not converted to Christianity yet. He did even share that he hopes someday that she does embrace Jesus and embrace the Christian faith. But they collectively agreed they would raise their children Christian. But, I mean, that's a deep, personal decision. But he talked about that as couples and as parents, you need to have dialogue and discussions and know all that going in of what you plan to do and how you plan to do it. And the two of them came to that agreement. And he said, I just found it to be vulnerable. I found it to be honest. This guy wasn't pulling punches. He obviously, that answer there was spot on, going, if we live in fear of what might happen down the line, we know the Democrats are going to do crazy stuff if they ever get back in power.
Well, and
we have to be bold to take over our cities again.
And in reference to what he brought up there about the persecution of political opponents, he went a little further near the end of that.
Yes, he did.
The end of that comment. I've got
you got the rest of it?
Yeah,
let's play that.
What I'm worried about, frankly, is what the far left already did with American law enforcement, and that is the thing that we have to prevent against. And the answer to that question is you make sure the people who did it face penalties for using the federal power against American citizens. And by the way, that's exactly what we're trying to do. Thank you.
Thank you, JD.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, and the question was framed: if you're using the National Guard in these towns and it's been great and crime's down and blah blah blah, the kid completely agreed with the idea. But what if a Democrat did that? Well, he said if Joe Biden wanted to use the National Guard to reduce crime, that would have been great, but I don't think he was ever going to do that.
In a red state, he even
said.
In a
red state,
yeah. He goes, if he wants to go into a red state where the crime rate is 10 times that of a third world country and wants to clean up our streets, I don't think we'd oppose that.
No.
Right? Because we know that safe streets is the beginning of a democracy.
It's everything that comes out of the mouth of the left is an attempt to spin the truth. Not a single National Guard member in this country has arrested anyone. They haven't shot anyone. They haven't abused anyone. They have gone into specific locations to protect federal property or protect federal employees. Period. They're not being used for law enforcement at all. And that's the lie of the left. We don't need troops on our streets.
It's a federal takeover of our community.
You need something because you won't police them. You won't use your police to actively police them.
Oh, no, just
they
the
love
opposite.
telling that lie.
Just the opposite. Not only do they say don't police them and don't do that, but don't support those federal officers when they're in danger.
Right.
They literally had a stand-down order in Chicago to tell cops not to support federal cops. Do you understand how horrific that is, especially in the law enforcement community, that a cop can't go help another cop in distress or under attack?
Well, even the union up there was disgusted by it.
Oh, they were. They were outraged.
Yeah.
The officers were like, are you kidding me? We're being told to stand down while federal officers are being attacked? I mean, insane. And if you know the fraternity of policemen, that's crossing a line that no politics should ever, to tell an officer he doesn't have the right to go protect and help another officer in need. That's just amazing. But boy, if something ever happened where they needed that National Guard to come in and help out, they'd be the first to call and say, oh, we need the National Guard. Please declare the national emergency so we can bring in our guard. No, it's the fact that the national emergency is you're losing 500 people a year to gunshots in Chicago. That's your emergency.
I have always said that if you are confronted by a police officer and you disobey the commands of that police officer and or you strike or hit or try to injure a police officer, whatever happens to you next is 100% completely on you. Whatever happens next is completely your fault. And a little later, Dan, I've got a soundbite from a lefty congressional candidate up near Chicago who decided she'd go to an ICE facility and stand in front of a car to prevent an ICE officer from driving away after an arrest. And now she's shocked that she's been charged with a crime. She tries to claim it's some violation of her First Amendment right. Well, you can stand on the side of the road and yell at them all you want. When you step in front of their car and lay hands on it and try to stop them from going somewhere, you have then crossed the line.
That's right.
She's lucky she didn't get run over, because if I was driving the car, I would have applied a little more force to the gas than this officer did. I thought he showed great restraint. She's now shocked that she's going to be charged in that case.
Yeah, you start impeding officers from doing their job, you now are accessory to the crime.
And all these screaming lefties, of course, up there in Chicago, they're all backing her. They can't believe she's been arrested. There's video of what she did. She didn't do it once. They didn't arrest her the first time she did it. They did arrest her the second time she did it for impeding a law enforcement officer.
Have you seen the video of the New York City police officer who was trying to run down a suspect and some lady stuck her leg out trying to trip him as he went by? They arrested her.
Good. Good.
He stopped going after the suspect he was running after and turned around and cuffed her. I was
Threw her
like,
to the
yes,
ground and-
that's awesome.
Absolutely.
I love it. I'm like, okay, you think it's cute you're going to trip an officer as he's trying to do his job and get a bad guy? The guy was wanted for, stealing a purse from somebody, and he was running down the sidewalk, and this lady literally stuck her leg out trying to trip him. He jumps over her leg, but once he landed, he just put the brakes on, turned around, and cuffed her. I'm like, man, we need more of that.
Yes, we do.
That's right.
There was a video going viral a couple weeks ago of a guy that runs up to a line of officers, and he throws a water bottle or something at one of them, and then he turns around to run, and some guy executes a perfect tackle on him and slams him to the ground like a citizen who's watching.
Love it.
Lays him out, and then a gun falls out of his waistband when he hits the ground. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
it's a great video. And you're
gosh.
like, man, whoever coached that guy, that was not helmet-to-helmet contact.
No,
that was
no.
a square tackle in the middle of the guy's stomach and just took him to the ground.
That's right.
I love it.
Wrap up and lift.
I
Yep,
love that.
That's awesome.
All right. Good one, Dan. We're going to be back in just a minute. Stay tuned.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Good morning to you. On the roads, we do have a delay right now on 370 eastbound, and it's on either side of 141. So traffic is stacking up on the bridge, and then it slows to just east of 141 before things open up and look fine. But we've got eastbound 70 in great shape. 64, 40 is in good shape. 44 looks good. So that's really our only delay at this hour. No problems on the Illinois side. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Sponsored by the St. Louis Zoo. Don't miss Boo at the Zoo at the St. Louis Zoo. Enjoy festive Halloween decorations, zoo attractions, and animals, including the zoo's newest resident, Charlie the Komodo Dragon. Boo at the Zoo runs nightly from 5 to 8:30 p.m. and ends on October 30th. Get tickets now at stlzoo.org.
Man, it rained most of the day yesterday, just nasty. What was that, our third straight day of rain? If you've got a yard that is filled up with water and you've got a basement that leaks, it's time for concern. Maybe you've already got water in your basement. Maybe you just accept it and you leave stuff down there to clean it up with. Stop all that. You can just go to Home Shield Foundation Repairs, get it fixed once and for all. Matt Hayes will come over there. He's the owner of this company. He's the foundation expert. He'll be the one that comes to your house. He will look at the crack or the floor or wherever the water's coming from, and he'll tell you how to fix it, and then he'll give you a lifetime guarantee. He's not there to beat you up. He's like, this will fix that problem. I'm not here to sell you something you don't need. He promises you that, and you can take his word on it. I've known Matt for a couple of years now. He's a great guy. Our kids go to school together. He's going to take care of you. He's been helping so many of my listeners with all kinds of problems, from leaky basements to uneven concrete on their driveway or their sidewalks or their front porches. If you want to know what they do and how they do it, go to their website, homeshieldfoundationrepairs.com, or just give Matt a call. Tell him Marc Cox sent you. It's 314-227-9636.
This is Hans von Spakowski of the Heritage Foundation. St. Louis would be a news desert if he didn't have the 97.1 Oasis to turn to every day for intelligent and informed information and news. Here's to the next 25 years.
If you want thick, healthy, gorgeous hair, then you need Hair Volume from New Nordic. Available as a tablet or delicious gummy, Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
You're listening to the Marc Cox Morning Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Little do the government know, we about to have a purge about our food stamps. Yeah. It's about to be a motherfucking purge. Y'all need to start preparing yourselves. All y'all Walmart workers, prepare yourself.
Prepare yourself, Walmart workers. There's about to be a purge. This is the kind of stuff floating around on TikTok right now, and people are directing their anger in the wrong direction. But you're starting to see just the front edges of this right now, and the Democrats are hoping for this. This is exactly what the Democrats want to happen. They want police to have to go into a Walmart and arrest people who are trying to steal food, and then they want to try to blame it on the Republicans. But I got to be honest with you, the polls show the American people aren't buying that stuff. They're just not buying it. They don't believe the lies. And Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries, I think they're going to have to collapse here at some point. They're going to find 5 members of the Senate who don't face re-election next year. They're going to let them break ranks and vote to get the government open again to try to save face. But this is not going to end well. These people are insane. Listen.
I'm literally not asking for help. I'm literally not asking for a job. I just want my benefits back. I don't feel the need to pay for food. I have food stamps since 2016. Yes, taxpayers. So, you trying to take it away now? I don't think so.
Huh. Like, it's like you're owed this. Now, I'm going to play a bite here. I'm going to play one more of these, and I'm going to play something that I picked up this morning from Adam Carolla. Do you know who Adam is?
Oh, yeah, the comedian. He's outrageously funny.
Oh, my gosh. And maybe he carries it a little too far and gets into fat shaming. I don't know. But one more of these TikTokers here. Listen.
So y'all motherfuckers want to cut off the food stamps. Cut off the food stamps in the most important month that motherfuckers need food stamps.
November.
What did you think was going to happen? I live in Philadelphia. What do you think is going to happen? Mm-hmm. Well, there's people out here riding, stealing, and all this shit. Where you think I'm going to be?
Yeah. So they're warning you. You did this in November, blah, 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 blah. You got to wonder in the back of your head, did the Democrats plan this all out in advance? Did they say, we're going to let this ride until we get into the month of November when people don't get their benefits anymore? Then maybe it'll turn around in our favor.
Didn't I say that right out of the gate? I said that right out of the gate. Remember when you said
they wanted chaos?
And I said the plan here is not to get what they want. This is a way for them to disrupt the successes of the Trump administration, just as they, did previously by the BLM riots. This is their playbook, right? When things are going too well and Trump's having too much success, we have to throw chaos and, mayhem into the mix so that they can achieve their goal of, government intervention, right? To show people the importance and that they can gain control, because that's what's it will take military, National Guard action to squell what possibly could happen in the weeks ahead as people truly, or what do these stores do? Do they shut down to avoid? Do they just bar their doors? Well, what does that do to the rest of society who now can't get food? I mean, anybody who loves socialism, you better pay really close attention to this.
What's about to happen.
Right,
yes.
Because this is what the government can do to you, right? When they're
they
in control,
control your entire life.
Right now,
this is just a glimpse of it.
1 in 8 people rely on SNAP in America, right?
Right.
And they have the ability, just because they can't get to a budget agreement, have the ability to shut off your food supply. Just think about that for one brief minute. If you are a fan of socialism, you better pay attention to this, because they have the ability to turn off the tap whenever they feel like it. And that's what the Democrats are doing. But, hopefully this will backfire on that. That their constituents will put their anger where it needs to be, and that's towards the Democrats who have brought this upon themselves and brought this upon our country, because they refuse to get to the bargaining table, and they don't have bargaining chips. They have what they're asking for is ridiculous. The Republicans are not giving up all the wins of this past year in the budget cuts and the DOGE cuts and getting all they're asking for. All the Republicans are saying is we're going back to pre-COVID premiums for health care. That's all we're doing. That's all they are doing. They are cutting out a subsidy that has been put in place during COVID to give people a break on their health care benefits that the Democrats just want to live on in perpetuity. Well, we're way past COVID, right? And the economy is going well. People can get back to paying the same premiums they were paying in 2020. And that's all the Republican proposal is calling for.
It doesn't matter. People don't forget that it's the free cheese that kills the mouse in a mousetrap. They're there for the free cheese. Here is Adam Kroll. Now, please bear in mind before you send nasty emails to the radio station, he's a comedian. He's talking about the people who currently get SNAP benefits, and the whole thing is tongue in cheek. But I kind of thought it was kind of funny anyway. I'm sorry. Here it is. Listen.
This whole thing of like 40 million people are going to go hungry. First off, those 40 million people average an extra 40 pounds on them over the average working American. If you took the average person that's on SNAP getting free food and the average person that gets no free food from the government, the average female who gets no free food from the government is 146 pounds. The average SNAP recipient is 211 pounds. So is it a food? I know. First off, we talk about going hungry. Nobody could benefit from a nice fast more than the SNAP recipient.
Adam Carolla at whatever place he's working. Email him if you didn't like that. They're comedians. He's a comedian.
And a lot of comedians are having kind of a field day with this. He's about the third or fourth one I've heard. One person said this is going to crush the nail salon industry because people are going to have to dip into their nail salon and hair salon.
And the weed industry, like we learned yesterday, man.
The weed industry, because people are going to have to use their weed money in order to eat.
Woo!
Yeah. So a lot of people taking advantage from the comedic world.
Well, if you're not smoking as much, maybe you won't be as hungry.
Yeah.
Just a thought. All right, we got Tom Ackerman coming up in the next hour. We'll talk more about the Blues when we come back. Stay tuned.
You've been listening to the very popular Wellness One for many years, Saturdays and Sundays on 97.1 FM Talk. We're happy to share that we've expanded the show to 4 times a week. Yes, 4 times every weekend. Saturday at 10 a.m., Saturday at 8 p.m., Sunday at 9 a.m., and Sunday at 2 p.m. It's the same great show designed to cut through the nonsense and provide you a common sense, science-based strategy for a healthy life. So join TJ and Aaron for Wellness One. Now 4 times a week on 97.1 FM Talk.
Hey, with cooler weather moving in, don't put yourself at risk for a power outage. Get a free estimate on a Generac home standby generator from Generator Supercenter, the nation's #1 Generac generator dealer. This is all about giving yourself peace of mind by calling now for a free estimate. You won't have to worry about waiting on hold with the power company. No more worrying about your home when you're away. Get a free estimate on a generator from Generator Supercenter of St. Louis. Financing is available. 314-499-2020. Generator Supercenter of St. Louis.com.
If you suffer from burning, tingling, or numb feet, pay special attention as we discuss neuropathy with Dr. Patton, D.C. Doctor, what is neuropathy?
Peripheral neuropathy is nerve damage to the feet and legs.
What are the symptoms?
The symptoms are numbness, burning, tingling, pain, and loss of balance.
Is neuropathy treatable?
It's absolutely treatable, and we have amazing results.
If you have burning, tingling, numbness, coldness in your feet or hands or balance issues, call us at Comprehensive Integrated Health today for a nerve damage screening. The screening will tell if you're at risk for serious complications and if you're a candidate for our cutting-edge treatment program. Don't wait until your symptoms are so severe nothing can be done. End-stage neuropathy leaves people confined to walkers, wheelchairs, and even amputations. The first 10 callers will receive a free nerve damage screening. Call 636-538-5188. That's 636-538-5188 for your free nerve damage screening. 636-538-5188.
We, without hesitation, recommend that anybody work with ThrottleNet. The experience will be as good as it's been for us, for anybody, because you'll get a true partnership and you'll be able to rest easy that you're going to get the service that you need while they're also doing all those things that you don't want to have to think about, that you don't want to have to worry about. They're always doing that in the background for you.
Don't wait for your next IT crisis. If your business depends on technology, you need a partner that's got your back. Contact ThrottleNet.com to get a free IT evaluation and see how we can support your IT everything.
Trick or treat.
trick-or-treat. Halloween is around the corner. Let's not use wishful thinking when it comes to safety. Beware and take care. Don't drink and drive. From your spooky friends at Kaufman Townsley, St. Louis's injury lawyers.
At Smile Train, we understand that most children with clefts need a little extra care to help them grow healthy and strong. Visit smiletrain.org to learn how Smile Train is supporting the cleft community with lifelong smiles.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-500-5000.
That's 314-500-5000.
All on the free Odyssey app.
On a scale of 0 to 10, it was a 12. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That's what President Trump says about his sit-down with China's leader, wrapping up his trip to Asia and South Korea.
I thought it was an amazing meeting. He's a great leader.
The president said that on Air Force One flying back home after their talks eased trade tension, cutting tariffs on Chinese imports.
President Trump says the tariffs are lowered effective immediately.
It was 57, now it's 47. Because we reduced it by the fentanyl.
20% of that was punishment for China not doing enough to prevent fentanyl from reaching the United States. That's cut in half. He's also suspending port fees on Chinese ships. China will put on hold for at least a year export controls on rare earth minerals and immediately start buying American soybeans again.
Fox's Chris Foster. The president also told reporters he's directed the War Department to resume nuclear tests immediately.
We have more nuclear weapons than anybody. We don't do testing. We've halted it many years ago. But with others doing testing, I think it's appropriate that we do also.
Now, the U.S. military is taking on another suspected drug boat. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth announced it on X, posting video of the explosion, killing 4 people he calls narco-terrorists off the Venezuelan coast. The 14th strike in this operation that left 61 alleged illegal drug traffickers dead. More than a week after the jewelry heist at the famous Louvre in Paris.
French authorities announcing today 5 more arrests in connection with that robbery, including one they called a prime or main suspect, maybe the ringleader. Remember, there were 4 people who broke into the upper floor window of the museum. They made off with $100 million worth of French crown jewels.
Fox's Greg Palcott. For a 30th straight day, the government shut down. Federal workers unpaid. Millions of Americans may lose food stamp assistance starting Saturday.
This is all about a leverage point for political purposes.
Republican Senator Mark Wayne Mullen blames Democrats. Democrats blame Republicans. America's listening to Fox News.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Hey, listen to this. All it needed was a new starter. Got a great deal on eBay. Did it myself.
Yeah, that's cool. But how about the soft purr of an upgraded exhaust when it fits just right?
For me, it's the little things. Like these new windshield wipers from eBay I installed. From small fixes to big upgrades, eBay has all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items on
497.1 FM Talk. I'm Dan Buck. It is 6:03, and we've got a cool 42 degrees out the door. An Illinois jury in Sangamon County convicted a 31-year-old sheriff's deputy of second-degree murder. That's a lesser charge than he was originally indicted. Deputy Sean Grayson was convicted of the July 2024 shooting death of Sonia Macy, a black woman who had called 911 to report a suspected prowler. She had grabbed a hot pot of boiling water, which sparked Grayson to shoot her. He could be sentenced to up to 20 years. Following a brief police chase, 3 juveniles are in custody and considered the lead suspects in that gun store burglary Tuesday morning in St. Charles County. Investigators say multiple firearms were stolen from Crown Guns in St. Charles, and they were recovered from the suspect's car. A second vehicle that was used in the burglary was also recovered, but no suspects were apprehended in that finding. Food donations are being encouraged by area food banks in anticipation of huge demand as the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program funding gets halted due to the government shutdown. Food Outreach, St. Louis Area Food Bank, Operation Food Search, and numerous church pantries are all calling for community members to drop off donations over the next week to help meet the surging demand that is expected. In sports, the Dodgers are on the ropes. Toronto hammered L.A. again in Game 5, 6-1 the final. The Jays' rookie pitcher, Trey Savage, he had 12 strikeouts in just 7 innings of work. That's a postseason rookie record. The Blue Jays now return home. They need only one win over L.A. in Game 6 or 7 to win their first World Series since 1993. That's your headlines. I'm Dan Buck for 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Road work causing delays on eastbound 370 this morning, east of 94. So if you're traveling out there, usually on the Discovery Bridge, things are fine, especially at this hour, but it's a slow go there today, or at least right now. But other than that, we still look good throughout the area on eastbound 70, 64, 44, northbound 270 in good shape. Pretty quiet on the Illinois side as well. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
The rain is done. Hard to believe after the last week or so. Our rainfall amounts for the year are now a little bit above average. Sunny skies in control. It's a chilly 58 degrees. Tonight, clear and cold, 40. Friday, sunny, breezy, 60 degrees. Trick-or-treat time. Friday evening, upper 40s, low 50s. Overnight, 41 degrees. Kind of a chilly weekend coming up Saturday and Sunday. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Thanks, Dave. We got clear skies, but a really cool 42 degrees to get started on this Thursday morning. Don't forget, you can take the Marc Cox Morning Show with you anytime, anywhere you go. All you need to do is download that free Odyssey app.
The Marc Cox Morning Show is brought to you by Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group, retirementkey.com.
This is the Marc Cox Morning Show.
.606 on your Thursday morning. Marc Cox running and sprinting. Never sprint to a microphone. That's what Tom Ackerman would say. He's going to be joining us actually later this hour. We'll be talking World Series. And, of course, next hour, I can't wait, got Jim Talent and Catherine Hanaway in the same hour. So that's going to be some great news. As Scooter said yesterday, the best radio show with the best guest. Keep it up. Great job.
Thank you.
That's
there,
Scooter.
Dan,
that's Scooter.
That's amazing.
That's amazing. Scooter was complimenting us yesterday. Thank you, Scooter.
So let me tell you what I did. This last hour, we spent some time talking about the TPUSA event. And I'm sitting at my desk in there, and I start listening to some of the different questions the vice president took yesterday, and I got completely immersed in it and forgot to look at the clock. I was trying to edit some of it to use in this segment,
and
I didn't.
Amazing!
I'm getting it done.
You, he was amazing.
Girl came to the mic and she said, "Mr. Vice President," she was Indian. She spoke with an Indian accent. Mm-hmm. Obviously, his wife is I think of Indian descent, and she starts quizzing him on Christianity and how he's raising his kids. I think we talked about that bite earlier.
Yep.
And how you can tell some people they can be here, but you tell other people they can't. And J.D. Vance absolutely nailed that answer. He said, we cannot say because of a policy or a law that was set 50 or 60 years ago that we still have to stick to that today. We're the most generous country in the world on immigration. But we have to be able to set limits. And the fact that somebody came here legally and is successful is great. That doesn't make it okay for somebody to break into our country and violate the law and get to stay here. He said, we get to decide if we want 1 million people a year to come in legally or 10 million a year. I was elected vice president of the United States, not the world. My job is to make sure that our laws benefit the people of the United States. Mic drop. The place went nuts.
Yeah.
Because it's absolutely the truth.
He had a whole segment of that answer where he talked about assimilation, too. Where it is important for people to come here and embrace the values, whether that be the Judeo-Christian political system of which we created, and anybody who wants to argue that differently is out of their mind. If they don't believe that our government was set up on Judeo-Christian values, but also the cultural values, the rule of law values, the being a good neighbor values. He said, if you're not willing to assimilate, then you should not be coming to this country. And I couldn't agree more that our immigration system used to be based on that. That you used to have to pass an English test in order to become a citizen. You had to be able to prove that you could speak it and write it in order to get a citizenship. Somewhere along the way, we've kind of lost that. We're giving citizenship to people who don't even make an effort.
I don't know. I mean,
to learn English.
I know there's still lots of people out there getting sworn in as citizens, and I'm proud of them for putting in the work. There are probably many high school students today that couldn't pass the test that you have to pass for the U.S. citizenship exam.
The American history part,
which would take us down a whole nother line of questioning on our education in this country. But yeah, J.D. Vance nailed it last night. If you get a chance to go back and watch some of that, it was a master class in how to handle an audience, and it's the reason that guy is going to be the next president of the United States. I don't think there's any question in my mind.
The question is who's going to be his running mate, I think, is what everybody's thinking about, because he is so positioned and so prepared for that moment.
Mr. Baseball, this is the deal. We have got a bench that should be the envy of the world.
Yeah.
I mean, the number of people who are primed and ready to step in as vice president or secretary of state or whatever it might be is long. Look at the poor Democrats. They got AOC and Bernie Sanders and Kamala I've got more in me, Harris.
The squad.
It's a sad state of affairs if you're a Democrat these days. I understand you should seek medical care for your TDS because it's going to destroy you before this is all over. You're 10 months into a 4-year administration, and these people are collectively losing their minds, including Hakeem Jeffries and a whole bunch of other. In fact, I've got a bunch of them in the short list. I'm going to let you listen. The first 3 bites I picked for the short list are all these lefties who can't stand the fact that Donald Trump is the president of the United States. Hit it, please.
The Marc Cox Shortlist, presented by Rhino Shield.
The fact that Donald Trump has been trying to politicize by threatening to fire first the chairman of the Fed and then another governor of the Fed, and now concealing data from the Fed is one more sign that Donald Trump wants to politicize everything in America because he thinks he's the king in charge.
More evidence that you don't have to take an IQ test to run for president of the United States. Pocahontas there, Senator Warren, in light of the fact that the economy is at an all-time high in terms of the stock market and all of that stuff, and she's still mad that he would dare to criticize the Fed for not dropping interest rates sooner.
When you have black babies being thrown in the back of vans, zip-tied in the middle of the night, and masked men sticking guns in the faces of black and brown people, that is nasty, is vicious, is racist.
Now Chicago's mayor, that's Brandon Johnson, says ICE is now targeting black people. That they're now in danger of being abducted on the streets of Chicago, says no one ever except Brandon Johnson.
I think the idea that you would give up all of your leverage and then hopefully get some sort of great deal coming down the pike is just a fool's errand.
Congressman Josh Harder is admitting still that this whole thing is all about leverage. That's all it is. Like, they know that if they reopen the government, they can go back to the Appropriations Committee and try to get an extra $1.5 trillion, but they're just going to lose because they don't have the votes. So they're willing to stick it to the American people to try to get free health care for illegal aliens. That's at the base of all of it. That's what this is about. And more of these Democrats are finally admitting it. That's the whole thing about it.
He was one of like 3 people we heard from yesterday from the left who said exactly that we lose our leverage if we give in. You're leveraging poor people getting food.
Yes.
Think about that just for 1 minute. You think it's okay to leverage a food supply to people in your districts.
And yeah.
Right? I mean, because at the end of the day, you're representative government. You're supposed to be representing the people in your district, and these Dems who come from where most of these food stamps are being distributed are willing to leverage them in order to get health care for illegals.
It's sad.
I have my highest poll numbers that I've ever had. And, based on what I read, I guess I'm not allowed to run. So we'll see what happens.
He's got him on the ropes again. So he strikes a deal last night with the Chinese president.
While
right?
you slept.
While you slept, he was dealing with this President Xi. They've got a framework for an agreement on these important minerals that he got an agreement for them to buy more agricultural goods from the United States because apparently they just quit. At one point, they were buying a bunch of soybeans and they just stopped. So they've agreed to resume that. Now, whether any of that happens, it is China. You can't look him in the eye and trust him. But he did hit the framework for an agreement last night with China, lowering tariffs and all this other stuff because tariffs are a negotiating tool, which is why I got so pissed off yesterday when I see this story come out that the Senate voted to stop Trump's tariffs on Canada. Did you see that? 4 rhinos voted with the Democrats to stop them. Who do you think? You want to guess on who this was?
Massey.
Well, no, it was in the Senate.
Oh,
McConnell,
of course.
Rand Paul, Lisa Murkowski, and Senator Collins all voted with the Democrats in the Senate to stop the tariffs that the president has levied against Canada. Now, it doesn't mean anything because Mike Johnson has his House members scattered across the country, and they're not there to vote on it, and he's not going to call a vote on it, so it's not going to go anywhere.
Right.
But these are the people who fail to grasp the fact that tariffs are a tool that you can use to negotiate when you're this 800-pound gorilla in the room, and Trump has used it masterfully in all of these trade deals he's hit so far. Because as soon as they agree to a new trade deal, the tariffs drop.
Yeah.
It's just a leverage situation that's not going to be permanent. But we've let other countries do that to us for years.
Yeah.
So once again, he's playing them like a finely tuned violin. Hey, maybe I'll run again for president in 2028. Let him stew on that for a couple days, then come out and say, nah, I can't do that. I read the Constitution. It says no, so don't worry about it. And then you go to his office, and he hands out Trump 2028 hats to the Democrats. They don't know what to do with him.
They don't know.
They don't know how to handle this guy.
I think it's hysterical that our president is a master troller. He is mastering the art of getting under their skin.
He's so much smarter than all the rest of them.
Oh, he just relishes in it. He just loves to poke the bear, and he does it every day.
He pokes him daily.
One thing I was thinking about is that I'm driving into work, and I'm hearing that he's got this agreement that our soybean deal is going to start immediately. That China's going to start buying our farmers' soybeans. And I thought, most presidents, if they could have kept Joe Biden awake long enough to have such a meeting they would have made sure it was in prime time. They would have made sure that every camera would have been available. They would have done it at high noon in the U.S. Instead, he does it overnight. He does it in the early morning hours.
He's there for business. He's just taking care of business.
He doesn't care. He's there to get a deal done, and the fact he was able to do it while the rest of us slept, my question is, when does he sleep? When does this guy think about his clock just in the past week?
He's 78.
I know.
It's crazy.
Amazing to me.
All right, quick break here. We'll be back in a minute. I'll tell you more about the congressional candidate from the state of Illinois who is facing some time in the hoosgow, and she claims it's a violation of her First Amendment rights. We'll see what you think after the break. Stay tuned.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
On the roads this morning, we do have on eastbound 70 an accident, and eastbound 70, the express lanes are closed at Union. So just take normal 70. It's fine at this hour. There was also an accident, Lee May Ferry at Merrimack View Drive. We've got the beginnings of some volume on northbound 55 at 67, in the right lanes at 270, and then around Bayless headed into the work zone. Eastbound 70 still in good shape, 64, 40, and 44 also looking good at this hour. This report brought to you by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
In the 70s, baseball player Jerry Kelly decided to do something different.
Thanks for calling Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
This year, the company Jerry started decided we'd do something different.
Thanks for calling Jerry Kelly Heating, Air and Electrical.
And electrical.
JerryKelly.com.
Gain peace of mind that your flooring and carpet installation will be done right the first time when you hire the experts at Michael's Flooring Outlet. They give all their clients attentive personal service, even bring toys for the kids of the household. It's a family-owned and operated business for 25-plus years. They make sure you make the right choice for your home. So if you have carpets or hard floors, you're going to be happy for years to come. 3 convenient locations in St. Charles County, 116 Main Street, in Old Town St. Peters at Mid-Rivers and Highway 70, in West County on Olive, and the store in Darden Prairie. Michael's Flooring Outlet, IGotFloor.com.
Hey, this is Ryan Wiggins. You know I love great deals, and when I find one, I'm going to pass it along. How about 75% off of snacks, chips, and especially Little Debbie products? It's its second-generation distribution in Roxana. I go there all the time. Plus, you can search through while you're there. Their nice selection of toys, electronics, home goods, apparel, all discounted. You're going to love this store. Tuesday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. at 301 South Old Edwardsville Road in Roxana, Illinois, or visit them online to see the full inventory. Type in Little Debbie Store Roxana.
When you're approaching retirement, there are a lot of questions to answer. Do you have enough money to fund your income for life? How should you claim Social Security? And what's your plan for health care and long-term care? Hi, I'm Eric Robert, Director of Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money Saturday mornings at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. Don't leave your retirement to chance. It's crucial to understand and address relevant risks before you retire. Our team can help you get organized, guide you through critical retirement decisions, and create an investment portfolio designed around your needs. To schedule your free retirement plan consultation, go to clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com. Or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE.
From the gateway city to the front lines of freedom, this is the Marc Cox Morning Show. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
So I am going to encourage everybody to search for the name of it. I can't even spell her last name. I've got to read it here. Catherine Abugazela. Abugazela. Abughazeleh.
Oh, yeah, I think you nailed it.
Thank you. Abugazela. Yeah. She is a far-left Democrat candidate who has now found out what the word FAFO stands for, the acronym, after trying to stop ICE agents from deporting illegal aliens. Now, you know, your right to swing your fist ends at the other person's nose, right? You can yell. I can yell at you. I can do whatever I want. Yep. Among my freedom of speech, I encourage you can do that. You can go stand on the corner in the rain with your little made-up No King sign. You're welcome to do. You're welcome to do that on November 5th, which is actually the one-year anniversary of the most recent evidence of no kings in this country. But you don't have the right to physically assault a law enforcement officer. And if you do that, you're going to end up in jail. Now, why this moron doesn't understand the laws of the United States, I don't know. But here's the thing about it. The reason you have AOCs in Congress and Ilhan Omar's in Congress is that they speak to the lowest common denominator intelligence-wise on the planet. Low information voters that only get their information from TikTok or the local media. Like, they don't ever investigate anything beyond their very small sphere of knowledge. It's sad, but it's true. So she's out there there are two clear videos, and kudos to the Gateway Pundit for adding both of those videos to the story. But there are two videos of her at a ICE facility trying to forcibly block a car from exiting the facility. And then she did it again. Well, the second time she did it is when she got arrested, and she's now been indicted along with 5 other people for conspiring to impede the work of a federal law enforcement officer. If you think you can get away with that, think again. Listen to the low intelligence of this woman who wants to add her name to the squad in Washington, D.C. She's running for Congress up near Illinois. Catherine Abugazela. Cut 12, please.
My name is Kat Abugazale. I'm running for Congress in the 9th District
screwed
of
it up.
Illinois. And the Department of Justice is charging 6 people, including myself, with federal crimes for exercising our First Amendment rights near ICE's Broadview Processing Center. This is a political prosecution and a gross attempt to silence dissent, a right protected under the First Amendment. This case is a major push by the Trump administration to criminalize protest and punish anyone who speaks out against them. That's why I'm going to fight these unjust charges, but I need your help to do it. As I and others have exercised our First Amendment rights, ICE has hit, dragged, thrown, shot with pepper balls, and tear gassed hundreds of protesters.
Oh my.
Simply because we had the gall to say that masked men coming into our communities, abducting our neighbors, and terrorizing us cannot be our new normal. And because Chicago doesn't back down from bullies in masks who tear gas our neighborhoods,
How much money do you need?
This administration has resorted to weaponizing the federal justice system to scare us into silence.
There's got to be an
But
answer.
we're not going to be silent. The Trump administration wants you to be afraid of speaking out against it and its anti-democratic power grabs. And there are plenty of reasons to be afraid right now.
Are
we
just
have
about
to
done with our
overcome that.
nonsense here? How long
This
does this
case
bite?
targets our rights
Yeah,
to
just
protest,
go ahead and cut it
to
off.
be
about a
free,
minute.
No,
and
cut it
with
off.
impunity.
I didn't mean for it to go that long.
I just want.
You just said
I just want to
is
get.
one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
I want to get the GoFundMe request at the end of
Oh,
that
it was
rant.
coming.
Was it?
Oh, I'm sure.
I knew it
she's
was coming.
fundraising off of it because she's looking.
Well, she needs a legal defense fund right now. That's what she needs.
Abugazela, however she pronounces it.
How do you put up a defense to video?
There's video of her physically blocking a police car, putting her hands on it like she's going to push it and stop it from rolling forward. These are like the idiots. I remember the idiots that used to chain themselves to railroad tracks to try to stop nuclear shipments from leaving one facility and going to another. And many of them limp around on one leg these days because I think if you're dumb enough to do that, you probably are going to end up getting what you deserved.
Right.
There's a lack of IQ quotient there somewhere.
There's no question that trying to impede a police car from leaving a facility or entering a facility after an arrest was made is there's no argument that is impeding the work of a police officer. How would you be a defense attorney and try to come up say there's tons of video of you not just doing it once but doing it twice, consistently standing in front and pushing against this vehicle, putting your hands on federal property to try to impede an officer from exercising his duties.
I don't know, but Mo on Facebook, who's one of our morning regulars and trolls for the left, he can't defend what she's done here, so he suggested maybe she was there looking for the Epstein files. Because he knows he can't defend what she's done here because she's insane. But maybe she was at the facility looking for the Epstein. Nice one, Mo. That
Are there people who buy it? That's what I want to know. Are there people literally hearing her going, "Yeah, they're coming into our communities to kill us and hurt us and what?" Yeah.
Honestly, I have friends that live in Chicago who are 100% invested in the fact that the United States government has sent troops to invade and arrest people and abduct them illegally in the middle of the night. They believe all those lies, all of them, because they keep getting spewed by the media, the mainstream media, which is all they listen to. It's unbelievable. It really is that you could be that dense. Coming up, we're going to get to Tom Ackerman. Stay tuned.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Severe from Vicks.
Sinex Severe Nasal Spray.
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Severe instantly relieves nasal congestion and works 6 times faster than nasal decongestant tablets. The 12 hours of relief allow you to get back to the moments that matter without congestion.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it! Try Sinex Severe from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks vapors when you need more comfort for yourself. Use as directed.
How would you like a free estimate on a Generac home standby generator from Generator Supercenter of St. Louis, the nation's #1 Generac generator dealer? Give yourself peace of mind now by calling for a free estimate. 314-499-2020 or GeneratorSupercenterofStLouis.com.
It's motorcycle season in St. Louis. Time to ride. When the road gets rough and you're injured in an accident, you need someone who's got your back. You need Kaufman Townsley. We're local, we know St. Louis, and we don't settle unless it's what's best for you. When it's not, we go to trial, and we bring decades of experience with us. Kaufman Townsley, real people, real results. Call 314-500-5000. That's 314-500-5000.
If you're looking for the best eye care in St. Louis, look no further than the doctors of Ophthalmology Associates. Doctors Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, and Andrew Royer. Make your appointment today at youridoc.com or call 314-966-5000. Ophthalmology Associates.
497.1 FM Talk, I'm Dan Buck. It is 6:30 and we've got 42 degrees. Following a brief police chase, 3 juveniles are in custody and considered the lead suspects in a gun store burglary that happened Tuesday morning in St. Charles County. Investigators say multiple firearms were stolen from Crown Guns, that's in St. Charles, and they were recovered in the suspect's car. Food donations are being encouraged by area food banks in anticipation of huge demand as the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program funding gets halted due to the government shutdown. And in sports, the Dodgers are on the ropes. After Toronto hammered LA again in Game 5, 6-1 the final, the Blue Jays now return home needing only one win in Game 6 or in Game 7 to give Toronto their first World Series title since 1993. It is 6:30 and we've got 42 degrees. I'm Dan Buck for 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Well, some volume starting to appear out there on the roads, but it's not too bad. Some moderate volume southbound 61 headed for 64, and then a little bit of volume just east of Winghaven, and then things open up. 70 is still in good shape from out west. Southbound 270 looking good at 64. But northbound 270, some moderate volume now just past 55 and again at Doherty Ferry. 55 is really starting to line up at Weber Road, at Bayless, in that area as you head into the construction zone. Quiet on the bridges for Illinois drivers, but eastbound 64 is slowing at Greenmount Road where we've got ongoing road work. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Climate Masters. We specialize in older homes. Climate Masters Heating and Cooling. Trusted heating and cooling installation and maintenance service. Keeping the St. Louis Metro comfortable since 1978. Call us today at 314-968-8383. Climate Masters.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. A question I get all the time is how did we become the largest injury firm in the world? We have over 1,000 lawyers in all 50 states and close to 6,000 coworkers. Our call center is on duty 24/7. You can reach us at any time at forthepeople.com. But the real reason is we won a lot. When you visit our website, go to our verdicts and settlements. There you will see what our clients were offered and what they were awarded at trial. All those verdicts help us resolve many cases fairly and early. You see, nothing beats reputation. The insurance industry knows who we are. We even have insurance adjusters call us for representation because they know too. We've made it easy. On your mobile device or computer, go to forthepeople.com and we will get busy. It's that easy. Call today. Morgan & Morgan, for the people. Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/radio to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/radio for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/radio for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/radio. See representative for warranty details.
Hey, it's Jane Duker. Congrats 97.1 FM Talk on 25 years. For me, you've always been a place where we could have honest debates about important public policy issues. Cheers to the next chapter.
All right, I see one Thomas Ackerman coming in the door here right even as we speak. And as you pop up the social media live feed here, you will notice that it's getting hot in the studio. I had to strip off my golf shirt that I brought in. Do you see the shirt that I'm wearing here? Can you read this on the camera?
You see that?
Can you see it, Tom Ackerman?
I still hate Leitner.
Yeah. Kentucky plays today, which is why I put the shirt on this morning. Just I'm just a little superstitious. So
you can't get over the Christian Leitner fadeaway, can you? Huh?
March 27th, 1992, a day that will live in infamy.
Mizzou fans still hate Tyus Edney.
I'm saying. There you go. Right?
There you go.
Right, yeah, exactly.
He's probably a nice guy. You know?
Kentucky plays Georgetown in their second exhibition game tonight, so that's all I'm saying. All right, Tom Ackerman in the house, and how are you, my friend? You doing good?
I am doing great.
Good.
Feeling great, doing great.
You know, I was thinking this is kind of like a sports equinox, right? We've got like every single major sport playing at this very moment. You got hoops, you got college football, pro football, college basketball, as you were talking about, playing exhibition games. I mean, is there anything not playing currently? I mean, obviously, World Series down the last 2 years.
It's amazing. Yeah, golf has come to an end for the most part. You know, like the other night, I was watching the Blues. I'm like, what am I doing? Like, why am I suffering through this? The World Series is on. Click. And I'll go back to the Blues later. And Saturday, I'm all into college football. I mean, all in. But if the Dodgers win on Halloween night tomorrow night, then it's Game 7. Like, I've got to pay attention to that, obviously.
Yeah.
So, there's a lot of options. I mean, I might have to hook up. Maybe Angie will let me put up multiple TVs in the living room. You think she'll let me do that?
She'd love to have
probably
that.
would.
She'd love
used
that,
to
I
you.
bet. Yeah, she'd
she
love
knows
that.
you and loves you after all these years.
Put
She'd
up
probably let you do
TVs
that.
everywhere. Yeah.
I wanted one. My buddy always had when he moved into his new house, he put a TV in the bathroom so that if he was watching a game and he had to go to the bathroom, we went to their house to visit, and I'm like, I got to get me one of these. My wife says,
done that.
No, we are not putting a TV in the bathroom.
I've done that with my phone. I mean, you can.
Well, you can now.
Just prop it up like in front of the mirror.
Back then you couldn't, but
sitting there
just
brushing
saying.
your teeth and you're watching the World Series
before Wi-Fi.
All right, let's start with the bad stuff. The Blues. What is going on with this team? They cannot stop anybody. They're giving up six a game on average.
And they sure changed the narrative yesterday when they called up Dalibor Dvorsky. Everybody went from God, the Blues are horrible to, oh, wait a minute. Oh, so the top prospect's coming up. Oh, I can't wait to see him. Oh, Dalibor Dvorsky, because he's exciting. I mean, he's 20-year-old forward. He's their best prospect. He will start his Blues career tonight as a center, and he'll be on the power play. I mean, they're not going to have Robert Thomas, most likely, so they're going to need Dvorsky to light a fire for them. It's a sign of desperation and urgency. They're trying anything right now. They've used all different combinations with forwards, with defensive pairings, and they can't figure it out. And all on top of that, the goaltending has been subpar, to say something even, there's nothing going right. So they're not scoring. The defense is horrendous. The goaltending hasn't been good, and the team stinks. So they've lost 5 in a row. Now, it's 10 games, but it's 10 games where we've seen enough. I mean, they've got to pick it up here quickly. They only have 7 points, get themselves back into contention. But they have time, I guess, to handle the Canucks tonight and try to get people going again.
So they're saying they're not mathematically eliminated yet. I'm just kidding. It's October.
They'll be playing next July. What are you talking about?
But
They'll still be playing hockey.
I've seen enough. I'm
Yeah.
tired of these slow starts, and then they have to run off like 10 in a row to get back in contention later in the year. You can't have
They
that
got to
anymore.
address it now. Yeah.
They're too good of a team. So I just see a team that's overwhelmed. I mean, I see a team that's not communicating. I see a team that's disconnected. I don't see any flow in their game whatsoever. And in hockey, you have to be confident. And when you're confident, you can make plays because everything changes in a heartbeat in hockey. You've got to be able to communicate well, and they're not doing that at all.
So the heartbreaking loss in Game 3, let's go to baseball. Then to see those Blue Jays, the resilience of that team to come back and win handily in Game 4 and Game 5. And that rookie pitcher last night was out. He was insane.
Trey Savage. Do you know he was pitching in Single A at the start of the year, pitching Dunedin, I believe, is their Single A team. He was pitching against the Jupiter Hammerheads. They had like
No kidding. To start the
300
year.
people in the seats. And now here he is in the World Series. That kid is awesome. He's got a great splitter, great number of pitches he can throw for strikes. 12 strikeouts. That's a rookie record for a World Series game. The most ever in a World Series game. Bob Gibson, 1968, had 17 strikeouts against the Tigers. And for a while there, I thought he might be creeping up towards that. He ends up with 12 strikeouts. He was awesome.
In 7.
And that Blue Jays team is awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, they have a cool attitude about them. They just brushed off the 18 inning loss and came out and won Game 4. And then last night, Blake Snell, place is rocking. Dodgers fans are roaring. The ones who actually showed up, they're always late arriving fans in L.A.
It's like a cocktail party.
Yeah, and they're roaring and let's go. Let's take this one. First pitch, boom. Schneider hits a home run. Third pitch, boom. Vlad Guerrero hits a home run. The Blue Jays are basically saying, "Hello, we're here.
Hey, we're back again."
Yep, and they just do their thing, and they're fun. Now you want to see a crowd. Watch that game tomorrow night at Rogers Center. It will be unbelievable. Tomorrow night.
All right, so
maybe we need some Canadian tariffs. They have to give us 4 runs each game. Don't you think?
Oh, why do you
We'll
have
talk to
bring
Trump
that
about
that? I had one of your colleagues, Brad Range, responded to me on Twitter yesterday. I said, you know what? Everybody should watch the World Series. Watch the World Series. Share it with your kids. It's a beautiful game. It's great, whatever I said. And he said, can both teams lose?
He dislikes them both.
Is this a political statement? Are we not?
Well, that wasn't political. I both people like the Dodgers and people hate the Blue Jays.
I know. I
Okay,
I don't see how you could hate the Blue Jays. I mean, they're a fun team. Toronto hasn't won since '93.
I know.
And I'll tell you something else. Let me give you another reason to root for Toronto. You do not want the Dodgers chasing down the Cardinals' record of 11 World Series in the National League. The Cardinals are the crown jewel of the National League. We all know that. They're National League royalty. They hold the record with 11 world titles, and the Dodgers have 8. I mean, let's keep them back a little bit. That'd be great.
Good. That's good. All right, it's a reason for me to root for Toronto. All right, we don't have a lot of time to talk about the Chiefs and the Buffalo Bills game in Buffalo. That's going to be a test for them. Yeah, but we do have time to talk about college football. Right?
Oh, I always have time for college football.
Your Indiana Hoosiers, just amazing football season. Can they win out? Do you expect them to win out and be 1-2 with Ohio State at the end of the year?
So as a fan, I get nervous talking about that because I know that, as soon as I assume that they're going to be, like all my friends are texting me, are you going to go to the Big Ten championship game? It's in Indianapolis. So everyone's asking me if I'm going. The IU basketball plays at 2:00 in downtown Indy against Louisville, and then Indiana would play in the Big Ten championship against right now Ohio State.
What a day.
That night. I mean, that sounds amazing. But I'm like, we still have 4 games to go here. I mean, you got to play.
Beat them? Who can beat this team
and 3
right
of them
now?
are on the road. So here's the thing, Dan and Mark and Ethan. It's all about health. I'm just... Can they get through 4 games without getting hurt?
Right.
That's all I care about. They're going to play at Maryland, at Penn State, which is no picnic. I don't care how bad they are. At home against Wisconsin, at Purdue. Get through those 4, and then we can start talking about the chances of winning it all. Because going to the Big Ten championship, you're at that point guaranteed a bye if they run the table, because the new rules are you don't have to win the conference to have a bye in the playoffs. So they would be, I think they're going to be the number 1 team in the college football playoff when it comes out on Tuesday. We'll see. They have the best win on anybody's resume at Oregon. But yeah, it's been fun. It's been a lot of fun. It's been a dream. I don't want it to end. We'll see where it all ends.
And you don't want to jinx it. I get it.
They're such a good team.
I get it.
I mean, they're just, everything they do is dominant.
Yeah.
In all 3 phases.
Has the parity in college football come about because of the portal? Do
yes,
you think?
absolutely. Yeah, and the money, the NIL. It's like a mini NFL. I mean, you really have 20 teams every year that can win it all.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to
good stuff, brother. You got to run.
Well, we appreciate you.
The
best.
Awesome.
Hey,
thank you, man.
Good luck tonight to the Cats.
Thank you.
Let's go.
Thank you.
Let's get off to a good start.
Guys, it's exhibition. Don't get your.
Hey, we beat Purdue in the first one. They're ranked number 1 in the country. We spanked them.
It was their JV
That's
team.
why we moved up to number 2 in the country
It was
preseason.
their JV team.
It was not. It was all their starters. Buck, stop it. Stop it. So then, of course, I'm reading about the game tonight, and Georgetown lost every single player from last year, went to the portal, rebuilt a team. It's what every team does it these days, right? Kentucky only brought back like 2 or 3 players, and they went to the portal and they brought in all these players. Georgetown may present a challenge to Kentucky. I'm like, Kentucky's going to win this by 20 points, I'll bet. Probably easily by 20 points. The John Thompson days are over for Georgetown. So I'm just going to throw that out there. And if they lose, I'll be bumming in the morning. You won't have to be here to listen to it. So you'll be all right.
Are they going to be the best team in the conference for sure?
In the SEC, I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I know they're going to be ranked in the top 5, I think, when the season starts. But whether the SEC is loaded with basketball talent.
Yeah,
so.
Mizzou not among them.
Mizzou has got the number 1 recruiting team for next year. I don't know how they're going to be this year. I haven't studied it too much. I'm sure they'll be respectable, but I think they've already got like the number 1 recruiting class for 26.
Wow.
It's pretty amazing.
In the
for
nation?
Mizzou, yes.
What?
Last story I read, that's what it said.
I'll be darned.
I know. You got to have some cash to do that. For sure. You got to compete. All right, we'll be back with in other news. We've got Missouri Attorney General Catherine Hanaway joining us at about 7:35. Stay tuned.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Well, good morning to you. Not a bad commute this morning. If you're traveling through North County, things look great. And eastbound 70, just some moderate volume out at Lake St. Louis Boulevard. Then things open up into downtown. 64, a little slow, Prospect, and then just east of Winghaven before opening up. We've got northbound 270 with moderate volume in pockets 21 through 64, and northbound 55. It's not too bad down south. There was a little bit of moderate volume at 67 and in the right lanes at 270, but mostly it's at Bayless, and that's in the construction zone. And there's a little bit of volume westbound on the Poplar Street Bridge, but not much. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Sponsored by the St. Louis Zoo. Don't miss Boo at the Zoo at the St. Louis Zoo. Enjoy festive Halloween decorations, zoo attractions, and animals, including the zoo's newest resident, Charlie the Komodo Dragon. Boo at the Zoo runs nightly from 5 to 8:30 p.m. and ends on October 30th. Get tickets now at stlzoo.org.
Hey, let's talk about what retirement looks like for you. I don't know. I'd love to travel the country and see a lot of state parks and stuff, or federal parks that I haven't seen. That's kind of our rough plan, right? With more freedom to travel and all that stuff. What's yours? Maybe it's seeing the world. Maybe it's sitting in the backyard and watching the flowers grow. I don't know. You got to be able to pay for it. That's what the Retirement Advisor Group does. They help people take their pot of money and protect it. So if there's a 40% drop in the stock market, and we've all lived through it in 07 and 02. I mean, we've all seen it happen. You've got to be able to recover from that. And what they do is that they don't invest your money in Wall Street, but they invest it in ways that you can take advantage if the market is positive, but you don't lose money if the market goes down. call them and ask them about it. They can explain how they do it. They've been doing it for 38 years, and they've never lost a dime of their clients' money when the stock market goes down. 314-993-9494. That's 993-9494. The Retirement Advisory Group. Thomas Helbig, Bob Kershaw, Tammy Kershaw, ready to sit down with you for free. 993-9494 or retirementkey.com.
Celebrating 25 years of 97.1 in St. Louis. Here's Jimmy Fela.
I'm nothing without you, 97.1 FM Talk, and America needs you more than ever. So congratulations on 25 years. We cannot wait to see the next chapter.
Rhino Shield is far superior to even the best traditional exterior house paint. Rhino Shield is 8 to 10 times thicker than paint and comes with a 25-year transferable warranty. Rhino Shield is the only ceramic coating company that has been chosen by Disney, This Old House, and 3 times on HGTV's Curb Appeal, where every episode is concentrated on unpainted brick, bonds and seals to stucco, wood, hardy, block, color lock, masonite, and more. No better product for those steel aluminum-sided homes that have become, chalky and tired looking. We coat sloped and flat roofs to extend their lives too. After 15 years, we've got a great reputation and a superior product. As long as it's affordable, why wouldn't you do it? Before you make the costly mistake of painting with traditional paint, you'd be best served to call Rhino Shield today. We are the experts and our evaluations are free. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. Tell them, ladies.
No paint, don't Rhino. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Sponsored by Progressive. We make the claims process easy so you can get back on the road in no time. It's why over 43 million drivers trust Progressive. See for yourself at Progressive.com.
This is the Marc Cox Morning Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
What's happening?
Go, you know the thing.
What the hell is going on?
In other news.
All right, Dan, have you ever played around with a metal detector?
Oh, yeah.
I had one as a kid. I'm sure it was a cheap one, and I never really discovered any treasures, you can probably tell, because I'm working for a living. But those stories have always fascinated me. When people who are otherwise minding their own business end up stumbling across something that is worth a lot of money, right? Happened this time in Sweden, if you missed this story. So this guy found a cauldron filled with medieval rings, pendants, and several thousand coins that were remarkably well preserved. And it happened in September in Stockholm County, which is, there are like 28 different cities in Stockholm County, and they didn't give a lot of details on it. But the private individual was digging for worms to go fishing and stumbled across this cauldron near a summer cottage. They're keeping the location quiet for obvious reasons, and they've got some pictures of these coins and pendants and ornate jewelry. I mean, there's a big pile of this stuff.
Gosh.
And they're not really estimating what it might be worth yet, or exactly what's going to happen to it, or I don't know what their laws are over there, if it has to end up in a museum or what. But
I was wondering if the government came in and snatched it real quick.
It is Stockholm.
Oh, and guess what? You get nothing.
Yeah.
That's how it always ends.
It's not finders keepers in Stockholm.
One of the 12th century coins bears an inscription referencing King Knut Eriksson, while another coin from the era island of Gotland depicts a church. So they got lots of really cool.
Don't you think
love stories?
Don't you think these stories that stuff had to be stolen though? Why would anybody just go randomly bury it near a cabin? Right? If it was in there, it had to be some reason why they weren't.
Or you knew that the bad guys were coming and you didn't want them to steal your stuff, and then you ended up getting killed and nobody ever knew it was out there.
Could have been during World War II. Yeah,
it could have been a long time ago.
All right, so when I was a little kid, I hated going through the drive-through car washes. They just were spooky and the crap, And when I remember being like 5, 6, 7, I clearly outgrew it. But now, this car wash called Fast Splash Car Wash in Detroit, Michigan, has taken fear of the car wash to a new level. It's a haunted car wash. They've got characters both inside and outside that come up along your car and scare you. Everything from Freddy Krueger. So as you're going through and you're splashing, the things going by your window, and right after the the washer goes by you, a face will appear in your screen. They're selling out. They had to call the police because the traffic was all the way around the block of people waiting to go through the haunted car wash. I think this would go over well in any part of the country. If you said we're turning our local car wash into a haunted car wash, I think it would be huge. Don't you?
I do too. I mean, it's just a problem. Like I go to that club car wash out there near my house, and you're in and out of there in about 45 seconds. I mean, it doesn't take very long to run through.
Right. But, I mean, what about the ones that aren't that busy?
Well, I agree.
Right?
Somebody should think of doing something like that.
Can you imagine drawing the short straw and you have to be in there all soaking wet?
Oh, no kidding. For your whole shift. Guess
or
what?
those things are whipping around and just smacking you.
You drew the short straw. You're Freddy Krueger today.
Yeah, or you're the evil captain of a ship. I would want the wet parka, right? The yellow jacket.
Somebody will get hurt, and then there'll be a lawsuit.
Yeah, probably. Somebody get caught in the brush.
So get this: a squatting nanny has moved into this couple's $1 million upstate New York farmhouse and made it a living hell. They hired her off of some place called Nanny Lane. Apparently, you can go to find nannies. They thought she was great. They hired her for 18 hours a week of work. At their summer place, some colonial farmhouse they had in Hillsdale, and she moved in and has refused to move out.
Wow.
And apparently she has some protection from the law, and so far they can't force her to leave.
Unbelievable.
Isn't that a nightmare? I hate those stories.
Is it against the law if you go into your own house and drag somebody out of it?
Probably.
Like, how could that be against the law?
I had an uncle in Middletown, Ohio one time who had a renter who wouldn't leave. And he couldn't evict them. So in the winter, he took a chainsaw over there one day and he cut a big hole in the front of the house and said he was going to install a picture window.
Never put it in.
No. And they were gone the next day. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
He was a little crazy, but it worked. You got away with it.
It's
Yeah.
sad you got to do that, though.
I know.
All right, you know the Mediterranean island of Cyprus? Right?
I do.
You've heard of it? Yeah.
Sure.
Beautiful island. Millions of tourists a year go and visit that gorgeous place along the Mediterranean Sea. But now they got a problem. They used to have kind of cute little cats that would run around and they were, part of the scenery and stuff. The population of the cats has now exceeded 1 million feral stray cats living on the island. And they're
going to bring in some dogs to get rid of them?
Well, of course, the animal activist groups are coming in saying you have no right, that they have a right to live here. Well, the neighbors, the residents of the island are saying, no, we're done. They're getting into everything.
Good.
They're in our trash. They're in our trees. They're terrorizing and pooping everywhere, and it's hurting tourism now to the point where, think about it, 1 million cats.
No mice on that island.
Can you imagine?
On an island. They can't.
There's no mice.
I bet there's no mice. Good point.
Greta Thunberg will be down there next trying to stop them from hurting the cats. Protect the cats. Coming up, Senator Jim Talent, former Senator Talent's going to join us, and Catherine Hanaway, Missouri's Attorney General. Stay tuned.
Hey, Stewie, I'm hearing mortgage rates have plummeted. The Fed's making moves. Is this the moment where folks can start saving some money?
Annie, I'm so excited, and you should be too. This is a great opportunity. Now, there's numerous ways to go ahead and save money. One is go from rate A to rate B, reduce it at no cost with the bagel loan, and save $100, $200, $300, $700 a month. Another way is to reduce the term. We took a customer, went from 29 years left on the loan to 20 years. Their payment went up $35 a month, and guess what? They saved $170,000 in interest.
Does that mean we should wait or should we act right now?
Well, that's a good question. People ask me this all the time. The Federal Reserve is going to cut the rates. Maybe I should wait. No, the market goes ahead and adjusts for potential rate cuts in the future. So the rates are typically lower than when the Federal Reserve actually does something about it. So go ahead and refinance now. Later on, if rates go ahead and drop, we can always refinance you for free again with the bagel loan.
Contact my friend Stewie at 314-324-4440. Google the bagel loan and MLS number 226-715.
Looks like we are definitely out of the massive heat waves that we received this year, but any week when it's 90 degrees during the day and 90 degrees at night is, in St. Louis, the humidity is not comfortable and our bills do go up. With that being said, we're coming up in the winter months and this is the time that you want to get your furnace looked at and checked. It's inexpensive to have it looked at for your peace of mind. And this is also the time of the year where you'll hear during your furnace checkups that you have a bad heat exchanger or you need a new furnace. call me if you hear that for a second opinion. You'll be happy you did. And it's one easy number in Missouri and Illinois. It's 314-293-2600. Or on the internet, Bart Inman, now that is Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. And God bless.
You've got your whole life ahead of you, so choose a Medicare plan you can count on. And that's what you get with a Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare. With more than 45 years' experience serving its members, United Healthcare has plans with low monthly premiums that fit your life today and as your needs change tomorrow. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th, so go to uhc.com/Medicare today. United Healthcare Medicare plans. It's Medicare coverage Missouri can count on.
We, without hesitation, recommend that anybody work with ThrottleNet. The experience will be as good as it's been for us, for anybody, because you'll get a true partnership and you'll be able to rest easy that you're going to get the service that you need while they're also doing all those things that you don't want to have to think about, that you don't want to have to worry about. They're always doing that in the background for you.
Don't wait for your next IT crisis. If your business depends on technology, you need a partner that's got your back. Contact ThrottleNet.com to get a free IT evaluation and see how we can support your IT everything.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-500-5000.
That's 314-500-5000.
All on the free Odyssey app.
The U.S. and China might sign a trade deal as soon as next week. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That's what Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent just told Fox Business.
All the congratulations should go to President Trump. He has a fine relationship with President Xi.
This following the Trump sit-down with China's leader in South Korea today.
I guess on the scale of from 0 to 10, with 10 being the best, I would say the meeting was at 12.
That was the president as he now flies back home as Asia trips over. Fox's Lucas Tomlinson reports from South Korea.
President Trump said China has agreed to immediately purchase large quantities of soybeans, which is great news for American farmers at harvest time. Aboard Air Force One, Trump also said Xi is willing to curb the export of those harmful Chinese chemicals used to make fentanyl. As a result, American tariffs on China will be lowered.
I put a 20% tariff on China because of the fentanyl coming in, which is it's a big tariff. And based on his statements today, I reduced it by 10%.
The president also told reporters and posted on Truth Social he's ordering the War Department to resume nuclear weapons testing immediately for the first time in 33 years, citing tests adversaries are doing. The U.S. military's taken on another drug boat off the Venezuelan coast suspecting of carrying illegal narcotics, killing 4 more suspected traffickers.
Secretary of War Pete Hegseth announcing on social media that the military carried out a lethal kinetic strike on yet another narco-trafficking vessel operated by a designated terrorist organization in the Eastern Pacific. The campaign's left more than 60 people dead so far and destroyed 15 vessels.
That's Fox's Lillian Wu. Hurricane Melissa is now blamed for dozens of deaths from Haiti to Jamaica, where it hit as one of the most powerful storms ever.
For miles upon miles, it is nothing but homes destroyed and people in peril. There is very little limited resources here as far as water and food.
Fox Weather's Robert Ray in St. James Parish, Jamaica. Cuba was also hit. America's listening to Fox News.
Let's go! You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
eBay has reinvented vehicle buying. From click to curb, everything's covered. Ever try to buy a car online and end up in a parking lot with a stranger and some blind trust? That era is over. Now with Secure Purchase, eBay isn't just where you find your car. It's where you buy it, start to finish. Title, financing, registration, delivery, it's all built in. This is the modern way to buy your next ride on eBay. eBay. Things people love. Secure Purchase is powered by Caramel Dealer Services, LLC, an eBay subsidiary.
497.1 FM Talk, I'm Dan Buck. It is 7:03, and we've got 41 degrees as you head out the door this morning. An Illinois jury in Sangamon County convicted a 31-year-old sheriff's deputy of second-degree murder. That's a lesser charge than he was originally indicted. Deputy Sean Grayson was convicted of the July 2024 shooting death of Sonia Macy, a black woman who had called 911 to report a suspected prowler. She grabbed a pot of hot boiling water, which sparked Grayson to shoot her. He could be sentenced to up to 20 years. Following a brief police chase, 3 juveniles are in custody and considered the lead suspects in a gun store robbery that occurred in St. Charles County. Investigators say multiple firearms were stolen from Crown Guns in St. Charles, and they were recovered in the suspect's car. Food donations are being encouraged by area food banks in anticipation of huge demand as the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, known as SNAP, gets halted due to the government shutdown. Food Outreach, St. Louis Area Food Bank, Operation Food Search, and numerous church pantries are calling for community members to drop off donations over the next week to help meet the surging demand. 650,000 Missourians are on the SNAP program. Well, in sports, the Dodgers are on the ropes after Toronto hammered L.A. again in Game 5. 6-1 was the final. The Jays' rookie pitcher, Trey Yasevich, had 12 strikeouts in 7 innings of work. That's a postseason rookie record. The Blue Jays now return home. They only need to win Game 6 or Game 7 to give Toronto their first World Series title since 1993. That's your headlines. I'm Dan Buck for 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Well, we've got a jam on northbound 141 headed for 6440 this morning. That is where the signals are on red flash. So look for a jam that goes back past Clayton Road. On the interstates, it's just the usual volume on northbound 270. So that's just moderate, and it's in pockets between 55 and Manchester. Eastbound 64 and 70, some moderate volume in pockets out west, Lake St. Louis Boulevard through about K, and then things open up. We've got moderate volume westbound on the Poplar Street Bridge as well. But on the Illinois side, eastbound 64 is slowing on either side of Greenmount Road. That is due to road work. This report brought to you by Aspen Contracting, roofsbyaspen.com. Is your siding dragging down your home's curb appeal? Well, Aspen Contracting can transform your house with new siding, fast, efficient, and built to last. Don't settle for an eyesore. Call Aspen today for your free siding inspection, 636-465-1696. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
The rain is done. Hard to believe after the last week or so. Our rainfall amounts for the year are now a little bit above average. Sunny skies in control. It's a chilly 58 degrees. Tonight, clear and cold 40. Friday, sunny, breezy, 60 degrees. Trick-or-treat time. Friday evening, upper 40s, low 50s. Overnight, 41 degrees. Kind of a chilly weekend coming up Saturday and Sunday. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Make sure you grab a coat as you head out the door. 41 degrees. Also be sure to take that Marc Cox Morning Show with you. All you need to do is go out on the App Store and download that free Odyssey app.
The Marc Cox Morning Show is brought to you by Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group, retirementkey.com.
This is the Marc Cox Morning Show.
All right, good morning to you. It is a Thursday morning. Last time I checked, happy you're with us on this 30th day. I guess it's, what would you call this, Halloween Eve?
Halloween Eve, I guess,
Eve of Hallows, yeah. It's we're I don't know about you. We'll go. You're going to get to go watch. Are you going to get to watch the grandkids?
Yes,
we're
it's actually my granddaughter's birthday tomorrow.
Oh, that's
She's
awesome.
born on Halloween, so we make a big deal of Halloween at my granddaughter's house.
I'll bet you do.
My daughter's like the ultimate party thrower. She's got way more decor than she needs.
We are looking forward to that tomorrow, as I'm sure everybody else is. For the kids, the weather ought to be good. They won't be sweating. That's for sure. Here's my question. Maybe somebody out there can answer this for me, because I'm happy that gas prices are down. I told you I saw gas the other day for regular unleaded for $2.45 or $2.40 in St. Charles County, somewhere off Mid Rivers.
Costco or something?
Yeah, it was somewhere like that.
Okay.
But then I go to get diesel because my truck is a diesel, and it's still $3.59. How is that a thing? It's cheaper to produce, and yet it's still $1 more a gallon than regular unleaded. I would love some brain surgeon to explain to me how that is. When I bought that truck, diesel was cheaper than regular unleaded, and now it's $1 a gallon more.
Yeah, I don't understand it either. I mean, it's obviously doesn't go through nearly the lengthy refining process that regular gas does, and you'd think you'd get it to market in bulk because of all the truckers who need it. So you think it's not a supply and demand thing. I mean, there's always consistent supply, and there's been no talk of any shortages. That's a great question. If anybody understands, and it could be maybe it's taxed at a higher rate too. Maybe there's a tougher standard against it, and they put a tougher.
I think sometimes there used to be additive. There used to be changes they made, like in the summer months or something, or I don't know, but
a dollar difference does not make sense.
Doesn't make any sense.
Not at all.
I need Donald Trump to make diesel great again. I do, because that's one reason I bought that thing. It's supposed to last for a long time and get better gas mileage, and it does get better gas mileage. It's just I'm having to pay $1 more a gallon. And it's chapping me a little bit, I'll have to admit. All right, coming up, we've got former Senator Jim Talent, anxious to get his thoughts on the president's trip overseas and the success we've seen with China, whether or not it's real or not. I mean, that's the question we have to see now. Does China follow up on these promises on valuable minerals and agriculture and all of that? That remains to be seen. But you got to think the trip was a success, just because of the trade deals that were announced during that trip. We'll get Jim's thoughts on all that for you here in just a few minutes. Maybe the government shutdown. We got Catherine Hanaway, Missouri's Attorney General. You know, she's played a pretty big role in trying to force some action on the sheriff's department here in the city, and because the sheriff's in jail.
Well, he's in jail, but it took a judge yesterday or the day before to get him out of office, to say that he could not currently be the sheriff. He was still the sheriff, even though he was in
From
jail.
the Hooskow.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Do you get extra favors if you're in jail and you're the actual sheriff and you can make things, I don't know, make things happen?
I don't make it make sense.
I don't know.
Make it make sense.
Please,
I have no idea.
Please. Next hour, Shannon Bream and our friend Griff Jenkins will join us there as well. We'll get to all that for you. Right now, though, I want to get to our top stories, please.
The Marc Cox Shortlist, presented by Rhino Shield.
First off, we talk about going hungry. Nobody could benefit from a nice fast more than the SNAP recipient.
That's AdamCarolla.com. He's a comedian, ladies and gentlemen. He was joking about this thing. A very serious issue, though, of SNAP benefits running out on Saturday, and people maybe starting to panic a little bit. If you're watching the TikTok and some of the other social media sites out there claiming they're going to start stealing food on Saturday. Democrats, this is your fault.
I do not want a long-term continuing resolution written by the Republican House and jammed onto us as the only solution. Absolutely not. Because what that means is the Republican leadership and Trump would make all the decisions about how the spending is.
Patty Murray says the quiet part out loud as well.
Yep.
One of the Democrats that has voted repeatedly 13 times to keep the government shut down because she knows if it goes to the Appropriations Committee, the Democrats will lose. So the only way they have a chance of maybe getting health care for illegals is to leverage something by denying food to poor people. Thank you, Democrat Senator Murray there for explaining that to us.
She actually said the word leverage about 10 seconds after that. She kept going. She just said the obvious out loud.
It's amazing.
I am directing today the Florida Board of Governors to pull the plug on the use of these H-1B visas.
Yeah, how about that? There he is, Ron DeSantis, abolishing H-1B visas to be used at state universities in the state of Florida. That's one more way of maybe evening the playing field for U.S. students. We'll see.
There's too many people who want to come to the United States of America, and my job as vice president is not to look out for the interest of the whole world. It's to look out for the people of the United States.
Wow, you talk about applause. That place for the TPUSA meeting last night on the campus of Ole Miss was packed. It was standing room only for this event with Erica was there, Erica Kirk, and, of course, J.D. Vance. And then J.D. Vance, the vice president of the United States, former hometown boy from my hometown of Middletown, Ohio, stood up on that stage and made Charlie Kirk proud and took any and all questions from the crowd. In fact, he encouraged, Dan, people who disagreed with him to come up and ask questions.
Yeah. And he got up there and he had a binder. He opened up the binder and he started looking. And he thanked some of the Congress people and the governor who were in the House. Then he closed the binder and he said, I had a whole prepared speech and I am not going to read it. I am not going to go through that because in honor of my friend, Charlie Kirk, I'm going to speak from the heart on everything I talk about today.
Wow.
And literally for the next hour and 40 minutes, he did about a 35, 40-minute speech. Then he went to the floor and took random questions, encouraging people who had dissenting voices, people who had tough questions to move to the front of the line. If you have an opposing viewpoint to anything our administration is currently doing, I want your questions first. And he was so unbelievable. He's going to be the focus of today's Thankful Thursday on the Buck segment later.
Yeah.
I'm just so grateful to have this guy as our vice president and to see his maturity and his leadership continue to develop, but he was in rare form last night.
Yeah,
I mean, just nailed it.
Go back and look at some of that if you didn't get a chance to see it. Seriously, taking questions on the economy, on just everything. Dan's going to talk more about it coming up in his segment at about 7:45. Stay tuned for that. I mentioned we'll get to former Senator Jim Talent, the president, just back from Asia. I don't know when he sleeps. Maybe he sleeps on that big, beautiful airplane. Have we gotten the one from Qatar yet? Have we got that thing straightened out?
I know. He doesn't have the new one.
Oh,
it's being worked on right now.
Renovated.
But they say he's got a super nice sleeping suite. He's sleeping nicely in the current Air Force One.
He sleeps like 4 hours a day. I don't know how he does it.
Yeah, just overnight while we were all sleeping, the guy, I just got a deal done with China. No big deal.
Yeah.
What's the market? What do you think the market's going to do today?
Apparently, initially at least, it dipped a little bit on the exchanges that dealt with agriculture because there weren't enough details of what the deal was. It wasn't enough that he struck a deal. They wanted more details of what that deal was. So I don't know for sure. I'll have to go and check and see what the futures are right now on the Dow. But some of the futures were down a little earlier, or moderate at least, when it dealt with the agriculture deal.
And what the price of soybeans primarily, that's the big issue.
Correct.
The soybeans were being turned away from their shores. Yeah.
We'll check in on all that with former Senator Jim Talent when we come back.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Well, the traffic signals are still on red flash, 141 at 6440. And it's caused a huge jam on northbound 141, which is jammed back past Clayton Road this morning. Now, that appears to be the worst of it. 70 eastbound has some slow pockets. Now they're reporting a couple of accidents. Now, there's a reported accident eastbound 70 east of Bryan Road and another one just east of Highway K. So some slow-moving traffic there, and then things open up into downtown. Now, 64, some moderate volume at Prospect, and then some slow pockets past Winghaven before that one opens up. And northbound 270, just moderate volume between 55 and the Clayton Road overpass. Northbound 55, slowing at Bayless. And we look pretty good if you're headed in from Illinois on the bridges downtown. This report brought to you by the Diamond Shop. The Diamond Shop, making St. Louis sparkle for over 100 years. They are awesome. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative. If you're starting to think about retirement because suddenly it's right around the corner, and even though it felt like it was a long way off, suddenly it isn't, and you start thinking, wait a minute, do I know everything I need to know about money in retirement, how I navigate taxes, how I'm supposed to and when take Social Security? You have to figure that all out. And really the best thing to do is meet with somebody professional and come up with a written retirement financial plan. This is why financial and tax architects are so great in my mind, because their idea is we'll teach you first. Come to a class we put on, and it's called Retirement Planning 101. You go for free, but you have to register. So call 314-888-5101. 314-888-5101. Go to a class and learn some of these things. See how financial and tax architects operate, and see if you don't want to sit down with them and come up with that written plan.
Hey guys, it's Mark Reardon. If you're struggling with low energy, performance issues, or weight gain, Game Day Men's Health has got you covered with testosterone therapy, ED treatments, and more in all of a relaxed man cave environment. At Game Day, you'll get a free testosterone test and consultation, all in just 1 hour. Game Day is the premier men's health clinic with locations in Chesterfield, O'Fallon, Missouri, and Glen Carbon, Illinois. Visit GameDayMen'sHealth.com. That's GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Get back in the game with Game Day Men's Health.
Don't miss Mosby Building Arts Home Improvement Show, Saturdays from 12 to 1 p.m. on 97.1. One of the last call-in shows where you can get live answers to your remodeling, design, and construction questions. Tune in Saturdays at noon.
Missouri Grit. Marc Cox on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Auto plants throughout the United States with American workers, as you know, and it's a tremendous, it'll be one of the biggest investments ever in the auto business. Toyota is going to be putting auto plants all over the United States to the tune of over $10 billion. So that's Toyota.
Former Senator Jim Talent joining us this morning, as he always does on a Thursday morning. Jim, how are you?
I'm fine, Mark. Hope you're doing well.
I'm doing fine, thank you. I'm playing a bite there from the president during his deal there in Japan that he made prior to meeting with the Chinese leader Xi yesterday and announcing a deal with China as well. What's your summary of this trip? And, I mean, it seemed like it was success at every turn. I guess the devil's in the details, huh?
Well, it was both, I think, economic and diplomatic. And the economic aspect certainly seems to be a success. You know, deals with Malaysia, Thailand, and Cambodia. We'll see how that actually pans out. But we are getting a lot more investment in the United States to rebuild the manufacturing base, which is one of the priorities of the administration. The diplomatic side of it, it's no accident that he went to all these ASEAN countries. That's the Association of Southeast Asian Countries. Got these deals with them, then Japan and South Korea, and then China. I mean, the idea here is he's showing the strength of the partnerships between the United States and the countries on China's perimeter before he goes to meet with Xi. And of course, Xi doesn't miss what that means. So
right,
we could go on for a while about it. But the thing that really, I mean, is deterring a big factor in China's mind in terms of deterrence. They do not want a determined anti-China coalition emerging in Indo-Pacific under the leadership of the United States. And Trump is sending the message that we can use our economic power to build that, and in fact are already doing it. So, yeah, I would say it's a pretty successful threat.
The president said that the topic of Taiwan never came up, Jim. Does that surprise you a little bit with the constant threat that Taiwan feels that they could indeed face a Chinese invasion at some point?
It doesn't really surprise me, Dan. I mean, it's one of those things. It's the elephant in the room, but we have explicitly delinked that. In other words, if it had come up, then Trump could have, and probably would have shot back something to the effect of, well, if you don't want Taiwan to be a consideration arm, I mean, Xi would have raised it in the context of selling arms to Taiwan and that sort of thing, and Trump would have shot back and just said, well, why don't you stop trying to control navigation in the South China Sea, and then maybe we will reconsider. Or in other words, he'd have shot back something. So the Chinese knew that Trump was not going to link Taiwan to the rest of this. If indeed it didn't come up, that's probably the reason. I think the president would handle that pretty easily.
Yeah, I would agree. Jim, I don't know if you saw yesterday, the Senate voted, 4 Republicans swapped over Rand Paul, I think Murkowski, Collins, and McConnell, and voted with Democrats to lift the president's tariffs on Canada. Now, the House is not in session, so it's not going to go anywhere. But what's your take on that? That they're so anxious to prevent him from having this tool in his tool chest to level the playing field when it comes to trade?
Yeah. I wouldn't have voted for it because I know what the president's trying to do to rebuild the industrial base. And I also know, and this I didn't realize, that Trump thinks very strategically. He understands that the United States has enormous economic power. In other words, access to our domestic market is a real lever of influence with other countries. And I've said, I think on the show, I want to give him a lot of running room in this area. Now, having said that, Mark, the retaliatory tariffs, there are 3 aspects of his tariff plan. One is a general 15% tariff to encourage manufacturing over time. That's not really an issue. The second are the Chinese tariffs or the Chinese export controls. Those aren't an issue. The third is the retaliatory tariffs, which are the most controversial. And I expect at some point Congress is going to weigh in and debate this. And I think it would be very healthy. So I'm not going to sit here and crime those senators for doing that. I think it's about time that Congress pays some attention to this. Now, I think they could couple maybe clarifying his tariff authority with approval of these really good deals that he's gotten. I mean, why wouldn't we want? Whether you think he exceeded his authority or not. And it's an open question. I mean, the Supreme Court's going to decide it. There's a lot to be said on both sides. It's actually pretty fascinating, although I doubt it would increase your listening audience if we went on about it for an hour or so.
Yeah.
But they certainly have to approve these deals, which are, very successful as far as the United States is concerned. So, we shouldn't get too upset when Congress does pay attention to something it is supposed to pay attention to. But, let's put it that way.
All right, the main topic on everybody's mind as we head into the weekend is the government shutdown and the impact it's going to have on 41 million Americans with the SNAP program. I said if you're a supporter of socialism, pay attention because this is what the government can do. They can literally shut down your food supply. Yeah.
And I could have told the Democrats that this was not going to end well for them because I went through it. I relate to this personally a little bit. It starts to go slowly on you, and then it goes fast. And their problem is that this is falling off a cliff for them like 4 or 5 days before an election they want to win. So they can't cave right now because they're afraid they're going to hurt Spanberger and Mickey Sherrill in New Jersey. On the other hand, if they don't cave, you're right. There's a lot of people who need that benefit who won't get it. And I think even more immediately is what's going to happen to the air transportation system over the weekend. I mean, right now, there's a lot of delays. If those air traffic controllers don't show up and we got a locked up, air system, the Democrats are going to take a real hit for it. So, this is what happens when you do stupid things. And I say that as somebody who participated in one of those 30 years ago. So they ought to learn history. They really should.
I love it. Jim, thank you for your time.
You're welcome, guys.
Always awesome. Have a great weekend. Happy Halloween.
Yeah, have a great day. Brilliant there. I'd not even thought about that the Democrats want to drag this out through the election next Tuesday in Virginia and New Jersey, I guess, and they're hoping somehow this helps their Democrat candidates in those races.
Think about the reverse side of that, though. Aren't they going to super hack off their base, the people who are on Snap 5 days before the election?
If those people are voting, I don't know.
Well, that's true.
They may have made that calculation.
Sure.
Coming up, we'll get to Missouri's Attorney General Catherine Hanaway on the situation with former Sheriff Montgomery.
Hey guys, Sig Glockencold here with Tactical in St. Peter's. Did you know it's legal for you to own certain types of flashbangs, smoke grenades, or even pepper grenades? Stop in today and find out how you can share one with your local Antifa chapter. Tactical Cave Springs in St. Peter's.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. We recently received a call from an injured person. The insurance company had offered them $11,000. We took the case over and got more than $2 million in court. Morgan & Morgan.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
For 25 years, the Warner's Warm-Up Coat Drive has been a dependable resource for impoverished men, women, and children in the bi-state. Together Credit Union is proud to team up with the Kurt Warner First Things First Foundation and Operation Food Search for the 25th Annual Warner's Warm-Up Coat Drive. From October 20th to November 2nd, new and gently used winter clothes of all sizes will be collected at all 14 Together Credit Union locations to help keep our neighbors warm during the cold winter months. For more information and a full list of donation locations, visit kurtwarner.org.
Gain peace of mind that your flooring and carpet installation will be done right the first time when you hire the experts at Michael's Flooring Outlet. They give all their clients attentive personal service, even bring toys for the kids of the household. It's a family-owned and operated business for 25-plus years. They make sure you make the right choice for your home. So if you have carpets or hard floors, you're going to be happy for years to come. 3 convenient locations in St. Charles County, 116 Main Street, in Old Town St. Peters at Mid-Rivers and Highway 70, in West County on Olive, and the store in Darden Prairie. Michael's Flooring Outlet, IGotFloor.com.
Make the most of fall and have an outdoor space that you actually love that's built to last. Lakeside Renovation and Design builds custom decks, screened-in porches, covered patios, and they use these durable, low-maintenance materials like composite decking and aluminum railings. They're going to make sure you have the perfect setup so you can host your family and friends for backyard barbecues or just sit outside and enjoy the morning coffee even when it's raining. Don't wait until the spring to start planning the space that you want to enjoy next year. Start with a free consultation. Visit lakesiderd.com, lakesiderd.com.
For 97.1 FM Talk, I'm Dan Buck. It is 7:30, and we've got 41 degrees as the sun begins to rise. Following a police chase, 3 juveniles are now in custody, and they're considered the lead suspects in a gun store burglary Tuesday morning in St. Charles County. Investigators say multiple firearms that were stolen from Crown Goods in St. Charles were recovered from the suspect's car. Food donations are being encouraged by area food banks in anticipation of huge demand in the coming weeks as the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program funding gets halted due to the government shutdown. Food Outreach, St. Louis Area Food Bank, Operation Food Search, and many other church pantries are all calling for community members to drop off donations as almost 11% of Missourians will lose their SNAP benefits starting Saturday. In sports, the Dodgers on the ropes. Toronto hammered LA again in Game 5 of the World Series. 6-1 the final. The Blue Jays return home now, only having to win one of the last 2 games to win their first World Series since 1993. It's 7:31 and 41 degrees. I'm Dan Buck for 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Well, we've got an issue this morning on 141 at 6440, and that is the signals are on red flash, and it's caused a huge delay for northbound 141 drivers. They are jammed south of Clayton Road. So if that is part of where you travel, I mean, it goes past, it's now back to Milldale, which is also Manners Way, but just know that. It is a slow go through there. Now, the rest of the volume out there appears to be the usual. So northbound 270, moderate volume 55 through Manchester. 55 northbound is slowing around Bayless in the construction zone. We did have an accident reported northbound Lindbergh past Sappington, and eastbound 64. Some moderate volume out west, a little bit at Clarkson and at Big Bend. Westbound lining up, but it's only moderate volume at Hampton. 70 eastbound slowing at 170. And out west, it's a little bit off the pace there. Lake St. Louis Boulevard to an accident just east of Highway K. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Climate Masters. We specialize in older homes. Climate Masters Heating and Cooling. Trusted heating and cooling installation and maintenance service. Keeping the St. Louis Metro comfortable since 1978. Call us today at 314-968-8383. Climate Masters.
It is a great time to talk about selling your house. Interest rates dropped again yesterday. You know the thought has crossed your mind. You've been saying, hey, we just wait till rates drop and we're going to look at selling this house and buying our dream home. Call my friend Gloria Liu if that's what you're thinking. Just have the conversation. You're not committing to anything having that conversation. She'll give you a free market analysis of what she thinks your home's worth. Now, that's important because that is the market value of your home is what she'll tell you. Why is that important? Because Gloria has a guarantee that goes along with what she does. She will guarantee in writing to sell your home at 100% of market value, or she will pay you the difference. How many other realtors in town are doing that? I don't know, but I think you should call Gloria and ask her how that program works. She's also got a program where people will bid for your home in cash. They bid against each other, and then you don't have to worry about all the open houses and all of that stuff. So I don't know another realtor in town that's doing what Gloria Liu does, and the results speak for themselves. She sold my house last year. We couldn't have been happier about that. Call her at 314-325-6888. She is with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. You can find her online at gloriahasthebuyers.com.
Public schools, like public libraries, should be free and open to all. Open enrollment allows parents to choose the school that's the best fit for their children. Maybe another school has a wider curriculum, is bigger or smaller. Maybe a kid is being bullied and would be more comfortable at another school. 75% of parents favor open enrollment. Open enrollment programs now exist in 43 states, and Missouri should join them. Our next-door neighbor, Kansas, has one of the strongest open enrollment policies in the nation. Kansas parents are trusted with choices and options, while Missouri parents must move out of their home to change public schools. And it's a trend. Nationwide, the percentage of students going to their chosen public school has steadily increased. Assigning kids to schools based on their zip code is the old way. Open enrollment is a better way. Learn more at showmeinstitute.org. The Show Me Minute has been brought to you by Show Me Institute and Show Me Opportunity.
Midwest Made. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
I may have spoken improperly here a minute ago by calling Sheriff Montgomery the former sheriff. I guess technically he's still the sheriff, but he's been temporarily removed from office. Maybe my next guest can help explain what this all means. We've got Missouri's Attorney General, Catherine Hanaway, on the line. And Catherine, it was great to see you last week at the birthday party. Thanks for coming out.
Oh, it was so great to see you, Mark, and what a great celebration that was.
Yeah. We had a fantastic turnout out there. Dan Buck was the last one to leave, I hear.
Stop. I was not. Second to last.
So, next to last. Okay. That's great. So Catherine, what is Sheriff Montgomery's title? Is he former sheriff? Is he suspended sheriff? What's going on with this?
Well, he is a suspended sheriff at this point. The judge entered an order yesterday temporarily removing him from that office and allowing the judges in the city of St. Louis to appoint a temporary replacement. The permanent decision will be made at a trial that starts on November 18th. So either way, this is going to be a fairly short time period, and I'm very confident that after that trial he'll be permanently removed. It's overdue. The judge clearly is giving him every opportunity to exonerate himself, but like many others, he just keeps trying to cover up his original actions and keeps digging himself a bigger and bigger hole.
What is up with the city of St. Louis, Catherine? It's one criminal activity after another from high-ranking people. This one, the sheriff. We've seen the city prosecutor. Is it just a corrupt culture? What is it? I mean, it just seems like we get one indictment after another.
Yeah, and here's the thing. I don't want to condemn the whole city. I think there's some exciting, good things happening in the city of St. Louis. And we've had two really bad actors in the former circuit attorney and in this sheriff. And our office has really made a commitment under Andrew Bailey, and I'm continuing that commitment to rooting out anyone who's corrupt in public office. That's the very least that the taxpayers deserve, is somebody who's going to do the job with honesty and integrity. And that wasn't happening with the circuit attorney. It's not happening with this sheriff. Getting elected to public office is a public trust, and he's abused that trust in a number of ways and then sought to cover it up. So it's time for him to go.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. It's been that difficult, in my opinion. I mean, I felt that way for the longest time about Kim Gardner, and then looking at this, like every day something new would come out about misappropriation of funds, it appeared, or overspending the budget, whatever the case was, and yet nobody could really, it didn't seem till this judge came along, force him out of office.
Well, and even this judge has been very hesitant to do it. This is at least the third and maybe the fourth time that we've argued in front of this judge that it was time to remove the sheriff. I think it's the fact that he is now in federal custody, that the reason he's in federal custody was he directly ignored the terms that he'd been released on bond on. He has a burner phone. He's intimidating witnesses. He had more weapons in his home than he disclosed to the authorities. He's a busy guy. Like, he just got elected in January, and the fact that he's been able to do all of this since then, it's really unfortunate. And as I said, I think there's some exciting and good things happening in the city. We've got to turn it around, but he's not part of the solution.
The city's not alone, though. You got the county and the county executive, Sam Page, being indicted on misdemeanor and felony counts. Where is that trial currently standing? Did they get the change of venue set up? And when do we expect to see his trial begin for the misuse of public funds and political campaigning?
Yeah, so that will not be until next spring. We just kind of started discovery in that case. It will be held in Springfield, Missouri. And I have a lot of confidence in the jurors down there. Voters in Springfield, Missouri are conservatives. They really care about how their taxpayer money gets spent, and they don't want Sam Page using it to promote a political position that he took, which was to oppose changing who could remove executive branch members of county government. And it's fine for him to have a position on that. It's fine for him to advocate his position on that. It wasn't fine for him to use taxpayer money to advance a particular political agenda that he had.
Yes.
Yeah, 50,000 mailers that he sent out just before that election, and that's part of the indictment, right?
Yeah.
I
got one of those. I remember receiving that at the house, wondering why are we spending taxpayer money on this? It even seemed wrong when it showed up in my mailbox. So I'm happy that he's going to have to face some jurors over that. Catherine Hanaway is our guest right now, Missouri's Attorney General. Let's talk for a moment about this redistricting challenge that the group is trying to challenge what the legislature did in changing the redistricting in the state of Missouri. You were on record, along with Denny Hoskins, as calling this out-of-state dark money groups that are trying to hijack our electoral process.
Yeah, that's right. So, and they are using a number of tactics to do that. There are 3 different lawsuits on file suing, arguing that the districts as drawn by the legislature are unconstitutional. We're defending those lawsuits. There is 3 referendum that have been filed with the Secretary of State's office attempting to put it on the ballot. We have actually sued over those referendum. The U.S. Constitution says very clearly that it's for state legislators to draw congressional districts, for the elected representatives of the people to be the ones to decide what those lines are. And some states delegate that authority to commissions. Missouri has never made that choice, and it certainly never allowed for out-of-state interests to go out, collect signatures, hire signature gatherers for pay, get it on the ballot, and pump a bunch of money into a distorted view. And so we sued in federal court to try and stop that process.
That's great. That is fantastic stuff. So just in a more general sense, do you are you feel like you're loving the new role? I know you said that you're not going to be moving on to something else, that you really want to make a difference in Missouri in this role.
I absolutely love it, and I do feel like I have an opportunity to help people, and that's what's always drawn me to public service. Whether it's an elderly person who's been defrauded through some telemarketing scam, or somebody in North St. Louis who paid for a new roof and got ripped off by some con artist. Like, we get to help with those, and we get to do the big constitutional issues and public integrity issues. It's a phenomenal job, and I'm going to do my very best to be really good at it.
Well, we're looking forward to having you on regularly, Catherine. I hope we can get that worked out.
Thanks so much, Mark. Thanks so much, Dan. It was great to be on with you.
Awesome, Catherine. Thank you for being you. We just we're lucky to have you in that seat, and being there for a full term will be nice to have a full term Attorney General.
We'll talk soon. Thank you.
Talk to you later.
Yeah, bye. Yeah, appreciate that. Good to get her on.
And not to knock Bailey and Holly. I mean, great that they moved on and are serving us in a different capacity at the federal level, but it will just be nice having stability in that office.
Well, she's committed to that too.
Yeah,
so,
right.
But things happen.
The
Senate
do
seats
happen.
open. Sometimes you get the call from the White House that says, "Hey, we'd love you to come up and be the assistant director of the FBI," and off Andrew Bailey went. I mean, that is something that he probably couldn't really turn down. I would guess that opportunity. All right, coming up, Dan. We mentioned this earlier. J.D. Vance caught your attention last night.
Normally I go out and find a social media warrior, and today being Thankful Thursday, I usually find somebody either being grateful or someone that I'm grateful for because they're out there telling the truth. But after watching J.D. Vance, the whole time I'm watching him, I'm going, he's my Thankful Thursday, because I'm so thankful that J.D. Vance is our vice president, and he'll be the feature of today's Buck Don't Give a Bleep.
You'll hear it coming up.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Well, on the roads this morning, we've had a few issues, and the worst seems to be the signals on red flash on 141 at 6440. Northbound drivers on 141 really jam behind it. It's back past Dutch Mill Road. So it's a slow go through there this morning. Southbound 270, moderate volume mainly, and this is approaching Page down through Ladue Road. It's northbound that has the usual volume in pockets. 55 up through Ladue Road. Northbound 55, that's slowing at Bayless in the construction zone there. 70 eastbound out west. There was an accident east of Highway K that has caused a delay back through Lake St. Louis Boulevard this morning. So 64 actually looks better, but it's got slow pockets between Clarkson and Big Bend. Westbound lining up approaching Hampton through Big Bend. And some volume now westbound on the Poplar Street Bridge. This report brought to you by Barron Mirror Glass and Door. Simply the finest when it comes to mirror glass and shower doors. You can't find better quality, prices, or service than at Barron Mirror Glass and Door. They have the basics all the way up to the elite. Barron Mirror Glass and Door can't be beat. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
All right, HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com. That is the website I'm going to remind you about here. When you go on there, you will find out how easy it is to protect your home and walk away with an absolute lifetime guarantee on the work. Your basement so important to the foundation of your home. And if it is leaking, if all this rain we've had has caused you to have wet, water there in one corner of the basement or coming up through the floor, you got to get that fixed. You don't want to risk mold and all the other problems that come along with it and eventually can lead to structural problems. You don't want to deal with that. Call my friend Matt Hayes, Home Shield Foundation Repairs. He'll come over. He'll get it done. He'll gets it taken care of. Listen, he owns the company. He's the guy that comes to your house. He doesn't send his some slick salesperson over there to beat you up for some work you don't need. He'll just get it fixed and hand you the lifetime warranty and see you later. And you won't have to worry about it anymore. Here's his phone number, 314-227-9636. I know Matt personally. He's a great guy. 314-227-9636. Or you can check out the videos of what they do right online at HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com.
You've made our 25th anniversary something to remember.
That's right. We've celebrated these last few weeks along with you, both on the air and in person.
And we want to say thanks for making it happen.
This is St. Louis Conservative, 97.1 FM Talk.
Sponsored by Progressive. We make the claims process easy so you could get back on the road in no time. It's why over 43 million drivers trust Progressive. See for yourself at Progressive.com.
You've got your whole life ahead of you, so choose a Medicare plan you can count on. And that's what you get with a Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare. With more than 45 years' experience serving its members, United Healthcare has plans with low monthly premiums that fit your life today and as your needs change tomorrow. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th, so go to uhc.com/Medicare today. United Healthcare Medicare plans. It's Medicare coverage Missouri can count on.
Tony LaRussa here. Men, are you running out of stamina rounding third base? If so, call my friends at Victory Men's Health in O'Fallon, Illinois. Scoring at home is important, just as important as crossing the plate with the winning run. VictoryMen'sHealth.com.
You're listening to the Marc Cox Morning Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative. Buck don't give a f***.
It's our Thankful Thursday where we normally go out on social media and find somebody just telling the truth or being grateful and showing gratitude, or me being grateful for them telling the truth and being out there as warriors on social media. Today, though, I had to go with our vice president after I was sitting home last night, switched over from the World Series and watched the TPUSA, 10,000 people packed into an arena at Ole Miss, and watched him take questions for a full hour, totally off the cuff, just from the heart. He actually didn't even give his speech that he had written. He closed up the binder and said, in honor of Charlie, I'm just going to speak from the heart tonight, and just ad-libbed about a 35-minute speech and then took an hour's worth of questions. And the whole time he's talking, I'm just so thankful that he's our vice president and that we've got this pipeline of leadership for the next 8 years after Donald Trump, who's going to continue with common sense and bold leadership. And one particular question that was asked by a young man who was actually pretty funny, he got up and asked a question about the National Guard going into cities to bring safety, and could it set a dangerous precedent that if and when the Democrats ever get in power, that they would flip the script and that they would, do martial law against us and against,
which it's not, but yeah.
It's not. No,
Right,
it's not.
right.
So anyway, here's how he handled the question, and I think you two will be grateful that we got this guy as the second in charge of the United States of America. Here we go.
You guys have sent the military into Washington, D.C. and a few other cities that I can't think of off the top of my head, which, first off, they've had wonderful results. Like, no one can deny the results of that. It's wonderful. Some might even say the greatest. I'm a comedian.
I like this guy. Who is this guy?
Thank you, JD. I like you, too.
Now he's gonna ask the question about all the that we did wrong, but that's okay. Go ahead and ask your question.
But yeah, I'm just wondering, well, it's not necessarily something you did wrong, but it's what could someone else do wrong? Let's say we get a complete tyrant in office, and let's say Turning Point USA is having a huge protest against, something really bad that we don't like. And let's say he's, a president is saying that it's getting violent. How can we, I'm trying to think, my mind's kind of blank.
Spit it out.
What is the difference between what you're doing and how could we prevent someone from abusing that power?
Yeah, so look, I understand where the question is coming from, and I think it's a fair question. And it's going to sound like I'm being sarcastic, and it really is not meant in any offense. But when you talk about what could another administration do, to take a wild, hypothetical example totally off the top of my head, what if Joe Biden sent the Federal Bureau of Investigation to start arresting his political opponents?
Boom. Go. Whoa.
Okay.
Drop the mic. Walk away.
So here's something that I want every conservative to remember. It's an important part of my entire political philosophy is we cannot be afraid to do something because the left might do it in the future. The left is already going to do it regardless of whether we do it.
That's right.
That is the takeaway of the last 40 years.
Amen. 4 decades they've been doing that to us. And we finally got some leadership who's saying, no, we're not going to accept crime and runaway murders in some of these big urban communities. We're going to use the resources at our disposal to stop that crime. Regardless of whether you like it, Pritzker or mayor, you should be welcoming us in. And you made the point, the Washington, D.C. mayor suddenly is like a Trump ally, and the party's hating her for
Bowser.
it. But she can't deny it. She's like, it may have been the best thing that this city has seen in decades, and it did work, and we do have lower crime rates, and we did put 1,700 hardened criminals behind bars. And we were able to execute warrants that had been outstanding, in some cases 2 years, 3 years, because the guard was there to do the patrolling and didn't arrest anybody, but just their presence helped squell the crime while the police could do real police work and go find these fugitives of crime and put them behind bars and get them ready for trial. So anyway, I think it was just an amazing example of the kind of leadership that J.D. Vance is going to bring. He was able to stand on a stage for an hour and a half, field everything that came at him, talk from the heart about everything from abortion to religion to crime. It was remarkable. Even foreign affairs came up in the questions. Guys, I'm telling you, we are in good hands with J.D. Vance moving forward.
Well, and here's how he finished up his comments on another long-winded question on immigration, which was important.
Yep.
And this should make you proud as well, because for too long we've worried about what other countries thought about us instead of worrying about our people. It's where MAGA comes from.
Yeah.
Put America first. America first. Listen to the vice president last night.
So here's the thing. I can believe that the United States should lower its levels of immigration in the future, while also respecting that there are people who have come here through lawful immigration pathways that have contributed to the country. But just because one person or 10 people or 100 people came in legally and contributed to the United States of America, does that mean that we're thereby committed to let in 1 million or 10 million or 100 million people a year in the future? No, that's not right. We cannot have, I'll go and finish. We cannot have an immigration policy where what was good for the country 50 or 60 years ago binds the country inevitably for the future. There's too many people who want to come to the United States of America, and my job as vice president is not to look out for the interest of the whole world. It's to look out for the people of the United States.
Boom.
Boom. Drop the mic. Walk away.
And the stadium went crazy, because that's absolutely what we voted for right there.
That's fantastic.
Fantastic.
It's so good to see TP USA back out on the trail and getting these massive crowds.
Great segment, Dan. Coming up, we'll get to Shannon Bream, host of Fox News Sunday, and our buddy Griff Jenkins. We're also going to talk about Operation Food Search.
More and more now, I'm hearing when all my customers that are calling and setting up appointments for looking at different types of furnace and air conditioners, they're calling in because of all the years that I've said there is a common sense approach, and they want to see what that is. well over 95% of the people are very happy that they did call me. I'm not saying that they purchased anything from me, but they're extremely happy that they did call me. It's not being cheaper. It's being explained in such a way to where they can make an honest decision for themselves and their family and what's best for their pocketbook. When you start getting prices for new furnace and air conditioners, call me. It's one easy number, Missouri and Illinois. Again, Missouri and Illinois, 314-293-2600. Again, that's 314-293-2600. Or on the internet, it is bartinman.com. That's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
You want to retire soon, but everyone keeps telling you to wait until you're 65. After all, that's the age that you qualify for Medicare and you're close to full retirement age. I'm Marvin Mitchell, president of Compass Retirement Solutions. In my new book, Retire Early, The 9 Critical Decisions When Retiring Before 65, I discuss proper planning to help make early retirement possible. When to take Social Security, what to do with your 401k, health care, how to maximize retirement income, and much more. Get a complimentary copy of Retire Early by calling 1-800-743-8510. That's 1-800-743-8510. Can you retire early? Call 1-800-743-8510 for your copy of Retire Early, the 9 critical decisions when retiring before 65.
Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and Illinois. Compass Retirement Solutions is not affiliated with the U.S. government or any governmental agency.
Hey, it's Tom Ackerman. Where do you go for your annual eye health examination? Ophthalmology Associates, of course. Doctors Greg Birdie and Ranjan Malhotra. Dr. Robert Bersati, he's the one I saw. Or Dr. Andrew Royer. They are available to you and are there to take care of all your vision needs at Ophthalmology Associates. They're on Manchester Road, a half-mile west of 270. Your vision is their business at Ophthalmology Associates. In fact, many of their patients are doctors themselves. That's why they call themselves the doctors, Ophthalmology Associates. Are your eyes itchy and scratchy? It could be more than just allergies. They're the leaders in dry eye diagnosis and treatment. They're the leaders in LASIK and discussing those procedures. And if you're having difficulty reading or driving at night, you have glare from oncoming headlights, could be early signs of cataracts, and they can talk to you about multifocal lens implants. Ophthalmology Associates, yourEyeDoc.com.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-500-5000.
That's 314-500-5000.
All on the free Odyssey app.
There is less trade tension with China. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. After President Trump's meeting with China's leader in South Korea that he called a 12 on a scale of 0 to 10. And Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent tells Fox Business that has put a U.S.-China trade deal on a faster track.
I expect that we will exchange signatures possibly as soon as next week.
Now, the president said while flying home after their meeting in South Korea, wrapping up his Asian trip, the Chinese leader Xi Jinping pledged to do more to stop the flow of the deadly drug fentanyl into the U.S.
Based on his statements today, I reduced it by 10%, so it's 10% instead of 20%. Effective immediately.
The president talking about the tariff reduction he's putting on Chinese imports because of that. He also says they resolved a dispute over rare earth minerals, and China agreed to resume buying American soybeans. President Trump also told reporters he's ordered the Department of War to immediately resume nuclear weapons tests, something the U.S. hasn't done in 33 years. But he also said,
I think de-escalation would be, they would call it denuclearization, would be a tremendous thing.
The U.S. military has blown up yet another suspected drug boat off Venezuela's coast, killing another 4 people. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth posted video of the explosion and called those killed narco-terrorists. It's now 15 boats destroyed since last month. More than 60 suspected illegal drug traffickers dead. It's day 30 of the government shutdown, with federal workers still unpaid, and millions of Americans who get food stamp assistance won't, starting on Saturday.
This isn't a political game. These are real people's lives that we're talking about.
Senate Majority Leader John Thune, after Democrats again blocked funding in a vote. Democrats blame Republicans for not negotiating with them on the provisions they want to add. President Trump's Surgeon General nominee was supposed to answer questions this morning at the Senate. Instead, Dr. Casey Means is having a baby. 40 weeks pregnant, she's gone into labor, postponing the hearing. America's listening to Fox News.
You're still glowing, flirting,
Grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
There's nothing like when you get that part from eBay and it just fits. Yeah, the first time. So you can do less of this and get right back to more of this. At eBay, you'll find all the parts you need, guaranteed to fit, at prices you'll love. Sounds good, doesn't it? eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
497.1 FM Talk. I'm Dan Buck. It is 8:03, and we've got 42 degrees under sunny skies. Following a brief police chase through North St. Louis County, 3 juveniles are in custody, and they're considered the lead suspects in a gun store burglary Tuesday morning in St. Charles County. Investigators say that multiple firearms that were stolen from Crown Guns, that's in St. Charles, were recovered from the suspect's car. Food donations are being encouraged by area food banks in anticipation of huge demand as the SNAP program funding gets halted due to the government shutdown. Food Outreach, St. Louis Area Food Bank, Operation Food Search, and church pantries are all calling for community donations. In sports, the Dodgers are on the ropes. Toronto hammered LA last night 6-1 in Game 5. They now only need to win one of 2 games. They head back to Toronto. It could be the Blue Jays' first World Series title since 1993. It is 8:04 and 41 degrees. I'm Dan Buck for 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
On the roads this morning, the biggest jam appears to be on northbound 141, headed for 6440, where the lights have been on red flash, and we have a jam that at one point went back to Dutch Mill. So right now it's at Burgundy Lane. It is just a mess this morning. Now, northbound 270 just has the usual volume, but it's slow pockets north of Gravois up through Ladue Road. Some moderate volume southbound 270 at Ladue Road. 64 westbound, a slow go Hampton out through McCausland. We've got eastbound with some moderate volume on either side of 170. And eastbound 70 slowing on either side of Highway K this morning. Also a little slow at the Blanchette Bridge and at Jennings Station Road. We've got some volume, too, westbound on the Poplar Street Bridge, and the usual volume northbound 55 at Bayless into that construction zone. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
The rain is done. Hard to believe after the last week or so. Our rainfall amounts for the year are now a little bit above average. Sunny skies in control. It's a chilly 58 degrees. Tonight, clear and cold 40. Friday, sunny, breezy, 60 degrees. Trick-or-treat time. Friday evening, upper 40s, low 50s. Overnight, 41 degrees. Kind of a chilly weekend coming up Saturday and Sunday. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
It's a gorgeous morning. Don't let that blue sky and sunshine fool you, though. It's chilly, 42 degrees right now, so grab a jacket as you head out the door. Also, don't forget to take the Marc Cox Morning Show with you. All you need to do is go out and download that free Odyssey app.
The Marc Cox Morning Show is brought to you by Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group, retirementkey.com.
This is the Marc Cox Morning Show.
If you're worried about losing a friend, you might. I lost my friend. I lost my best friend. And if you're nervous about standing up for the truth, the assassination of my husband puts into perspective all those fears. It really does. Because my husband never went with the flow. He swam in the streams of significance. And Charlie knew so deeply to his core that comfort doesn't change the world. And you cannot influence the world when you look like it.
Wow. Erica Kirk last night at that event for TPUSA down at Ole Miss, and if you missed it, it's well worth going back and watching Erica Kirk's speech. And as you've heard on a couple of Dan's segments today, listen to what the vice president did last night off the cuff, taking any and all questions from the audience. It was powerful, Dan.
It really was. And her call to faith of this generation, I think she called them the most courageous generation, that you've got to be bold, you've got to be courageous in your faith. And if it means losing a few friends, as she mentioned there, so be it. That these young leaders and 10,000 young people had packed into that stadium last night to hear this message, and that movement at Ole Miss, which, of course, is one of the founding TPUSA chapters. They've been strong from day one, but so great to see TPUSA getting back out there, holding these rallies. You know, even though some universities, including Catholic universities, are blocking them, can you believe Loyola of New Orleans, Loyola Universities, denied TPUSA from being a sanctioned student organization?
And there's a Loyola in Chicago. This is the one down in New Orleans. But still, the student government got together and was somehow able to block that, which just shows you the length to which these progs control some of these campuses. But this is going to be an overwhelming tidal wave of support. With 38,000 new chapters in high schools and colleges. And if we're sending our children into those environments in the armor of the truth, if they're learning it before they can get to the universities where they will try to beat them down, that's going to be so powerful too.
Yeah, and she talked specifically to all the schools in the country, not just to the Ole Miss in that stadium. She called on all of them to be bold in their faith, be bold in their political beliefs, do not buy into what they're selling at these universities. I mean, she was awesome. Spot on. She did it humbly. She did it kindly. She did it in a very Christian fashion. She had some incredible anecdotes about Charlie's life and different things that were very personal to her. But boy, her call to action to these young people was really powerful.
I would agree with that completely, and great to see that as well. All right, still to come, we got Shannon Bream, we got Griff Jenkins. We're going to talk to Carlton Adams, who's the CEO of Operation Food Search here locally. They had a big effort last night to collect some food, but there are other ways you can donate. They're expecting a surge in demand over the weekend once the Democrats allow these SNAP benefits to run out, and people are going to be looking for food. Normally they would get their SNAP. Whether you agree with the number of people who are getting SNAP benefits or not, whether you agree with that or not, and I think it has grown by like 20% since Joe Biden took office. So it's ridiculous in my mind, the number of people that they're giving SNAP benefits to. I fully support giving it to people who are needy. But we've blown that threshold up so high. There are people perfectly capable of working for a living who are getting free stuff. But you can set that aside for a minute. Bottom line is they're dependent on it. Yep. And on Saturday, they're not going to have any money in their account to go buy food. So these food banks are going to be crucial and play a big role. So we'll tell you how you can help before the end of the hour. Just a quick shout out to my friends over at Responder Rescue. Their ATF raffle, their alcohol, tobacco, firearms raffle, kicks off tomorrow. And I just have to tell you, I've been humbled by the donations I've received for this bourbon basket that I put together every year. Of course, we're giving away, they'll give away a gun in the raffle from the Range St. Louis West, handled by the Range. They're going to give away an evening worth about $1,000 out at Lit Cigar Lounge for you and 10 of your closest friends with bottle service and cigars and all that. It's going to be great. And then I put together this bourbon basket every year. I call it a basket. You're going to get them in boxes if you win because it's too hard to put it all in a basket. But I have to tell you, Lore Wine and Spirits has come forward, some close friends of mine who don't want any recognition for it, but they've come forward and they have offered they've offered unique bottles. A bottle of Pappy Van Winkle, a bottle of Weller 12 I got donated earlier this week. Of course, Blanton's, Weller Antique 107. All of these sort of hard to get and sought after bottles of bourbon are going to be in this basket. I would put the value in there over $2,000 just because the Pappy is probably worth $1,000. That single bottle is probably worth $1,000.
And you can win it if you have a ticket.
You can.
Right.
And I would also add that yesterday my friend Mark Sutherland reached out. He runs Stone Ledge Distillery down in Defiance and also Stolock whiskey. He's donating a fine bottle of Stolock and some of their vodka that'll go in there. And he's going to offer a tasting for 10 guests down at his Stone Ledge in Defiance. That's another $280, $300 value that'll be part of the bourbon basket. So 3 winners will be picked on November 26th, the day before Thanksgiving. Tomorrow we'll tell you all about how to buy tickets, and they're cheap. They're $1 a piece. You can get your name in there. All of the money goes to Responder Rescue. They help responders, first responders in need, and there may be plenty of them in need this season. So
awesome.
If you can help, that'd be great. I will kick that off officially of our First Responder Thanksgiving tomorrow morning. Right now, Ethan, let's get to our top stories, please.
I got a question for you first.
Yes, what's that?
Russell on YouTube wants to know if there'll be a bottle of Ripple.
Oh, I don't know. They don't make it anymore, Russell, but we were talking about Ripple yesterday.
And if you find one, don't drink it.
Yeah, don't drink it.
No.
They made that rut gut. They stopped making that rut gut back in 1984, apparently. Sanford and Son used to talk about Ripple all the time.
And we were talking about it on yesterday's show, Sanford and Son's favorite drink. You want some Ripple?
I could probably find some Mad Dog 2020 or something to stick in there.
We
but
should
no,
just throw
no
one
Ripple.
in just to do it.
TJ Swan, Easy Nights.
I'll see if I can find a bottle online. We'll see what we can do. Let's get to our top stories.
The Marc Cox Shortlist, presented by Rhino Shield.
And all my MAGA friends who are, cheering on these illegal killings need to imagine who gets killed when President Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez says that it doesn't matter what the law says. She's going to do what she's going to do.
Woo! What is Jim He's a Democrat? What does he think AOC is going to do when she takes office
who's
someday?
she going to kill? We're killing narco-terrorists who are bringing drugs onto our shores, killing thousands of people.
Big difference.
Right.
Big difference.
We're day 29 of the shutdown. It's a soap opera. If I were naming this soap opera, I'd call it As the Stomach Turns.
Thank you, Senator Kennedy, talking about day 30 of the Schumer shutdown, and boy, does it just carry on.
And let's be clear about this. They've been on a crusade. The Republicans have been on a crusade against SNAP all year. They slashed it by $200 billion this summer to pay for their tax cuts for billionaires. So they've never wanted SNAP. They don't want it now.
If his gums are flapping, he's lying. Chuck
my
Schumer
God.
caused the shutdown. Now he claims it's all about Republicans trying to cut or deny people SNAP benefits. The Democrats voted against reopening the government, not the Republicans.
How are you doing the job differently than Kamala did it?
Well, I don't have, 4 shots of vodka before every meeting.
The honesty of J.D. Vance yesterday when asked about the difference between his vice presidency and the former vice president of the United States. Woo!
And people say, oh, he shouldn't, throw those things out there. Her former staff members throw that out there.
Oh, yeah. It wasn't Vance saying it.
No. That's
a
fact, folks, that she loved to take some pops before she would go out and speak to the media.
I know.
But anyway, just to put some truth behind the Schumer comment there about SNAP, in 2020, when President Trump left office, SNAP was a $64 billion program through USDA. Do you know what it went up to over the past 4 years on a steady climb?
80?
Just in 4 years. It is $142 billion.
Wow.
So it more than doubled in a 4-year window, the SNAP benefit. So we've gone from a $62 billion in 2019, which was the last year of the Trump administration, but by This past year, when he took office in 2024, it had blossomed to $143 billion.
Wow.
That's crazy.
That's stunning. But once again, as I mentioned, Chuck Schumer opens his mouth. Lies are flowing out of it, and maybe raw hamburgers if you saw that picture. All right, quick break here. We will get to Shannon Bream, host of Fox News Sunday, coming up.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Northbound 141, still a parking lot, headed for 6440, where the lights have been on red flash this morning. Northbound 270, slow pockets 44 up through Ladue Road. Southbound is slowing at Ladue Road as well. We've got volume eastbound on 70, approaching 79. 64 is still slowing on either side of Clarkson and Big Bend. About 55 northbound looks pretty good right now. Jennings Station Road, that's a slow go for 70 drivers in both directions. If you are headed in from Illinois on the bridges downtown, we look pretty good. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Sponsored by the St. Louis Zoo. Don't miss Boo at the Zoo at the St. Louis Zoo. Enjoy festive Halloween decorations, zoo attractions, and animals, including the zoo's newest resident, Charlie the Komodo Dragon. Boo at the Zoo runs nightly from 5 to 8:30 p.m. and ends on October 30th. Get tickets now at stlzoo.org.
Do you know how to handle your money in retirement? Now, this is not a situation where you can just kind of wing it and think, yeah, it'll be all right. You have got to have a written retirement financial plan in place. It's the only way you're going to know whether you have enough to make it through retirement. And this is what financial and tax architects do. They sit down with people all over the St. Louis area, talk to them, see what they've got as far as retirement savings and income is going to be, and they help you come up with that plan and retire with confidence. Now, these plans are customized. They're not cookie cutter. They're tailored specifically for your goals and even for your values. They will specifically make it for that. And what they do is start with having you go to a class called Retirement Planning 101. And it's free, but you register online. Visit F as in Frank, FTA-RIA.com, FTA-RIA.com, and register for a class and take that first step toward a smarter retirement.
Hey guys, Sid Glockencold here from Tactical in St. Peters. Today, conservatives and Christians are being targeted with violence more than ever. Stop in and get what you need to protect your family and your flock. Tactical Cave Springs in St. Peters.
I'm Missouri Attorney General Catherine Hanaway. Fraud and scams can strike anyone. My office works to ensure that Missouri is free from deception and unfair practices. Last year, we handled over 65,000 consumer complaints and returned more than $400 million to Missourians. If you've been a victim of fraud, call 800-392-8222 or visit ago.mo.gov.
Paid for by the Missouri Attorney General's Office.
Marc Cox is St. Louis Conservative.
But overall, I guess on the scale of from 0 to 10, with 10 being the best, I would say the meeting was a 12. Okay, I think it was a 12. I think very importantly, just the whole relationship is very, very important. And I think it was really good.
There's only one Shannon.
Shannon Bream, host of Fox News Sunday. Shannon, there's never been a more Trumpian scale than a 12 on a scale of 1 to 10, right?
I mean, is that not a perfect encapsulation? Yeah. I mean, he obviously felt like the meeting went really well, but if he feels like it was good to great, it's going to be more than a 10. So, yes, that was President Trump, just vintage.
Well, here again, for all of his detractors on these trade issues, in one fell swoop, he went through 4 countries, wrapped up a number of trade deals, including with these important minerals that we need to have, these rare earth minerals, got investment guarantees from Japan, and then landed in front of Xi with all of that already in his pocket. That had to be a big boost to the U.S. negotiating power there.
Yeah, he had a lot of momentum going in, and the readout from this 12 out of 10 sounds very promising. You talk about the rare earth minerals. That's been such a huge sticking point. And China was getting ready to unleash this framework in which countries had to get permission for how they were used, how they were sourced, everything. If they had any touch or connection to China at all, they're in weapons, they're in cars, they're in computers. I mean, that was a huge deal. The White House says they've got reassurances on fentanyl. And for great news for American farmers is that they are going to stop this ban on buying American soybeans and other farm products. The president says those orders are starting today. And that's great news. A couple of things we didn't hear about TikTok. We didn't hear about, we know the White House was going to discuss China's ability to help them with respect to Russia and Putin. Did they discuss that? Will we hear more about that? We'll wait and see.
And Taiwan also didn't make the agenda. But for your producers and yourself for Sunday, it's got to be, this has been just a whirlwind week. You still have this shutdown. How are you producing and deciding what's going to go on to the show on Sunday?
Yeah, so we'll unpack everything from this Asia trip. And we're also, with tariffs and trade in mind, going to look ahead to next Wednesday when the Supreme Court is going to hear this argument over whether the president has the power to use this Emergency Powers Act for a lot of the tariffs that he's done. The president has suggested he may go. That will make this a totally different experience if he's at the court on Wednesday. But it's a really important one for this administration. It wouldn't, if they lost there, it wouldn't take away all of their tariff tools, but it would take away a big chunk of them. So
right.
that we're going to preview that. And of course, we're going to look at the shutdown because we this weekend hit a couple of those real big pressure points, and there are going to be more missed paychecks potentially for the military and federal workers if they don't get something going soon.
Yeah, I want to talk more about the shutdown in a minute. But, Shannon, I've camped out for concert tickets yet before. Or you think you're going to have to camp out to get in that Supreme Court building if Donald Trump's showing up next Wednesday?
Well, as a member of the Supreme Court Press Corps, I do have a seat, which is great. But I think for most folks, if you want to come, it's going to be tricky. I've talked to senators from both sides of the aisle who say they're going to show up, so there'll be a lot of lawmakers, and they're going to get seats. It's just going to be a totally different security posture. There are always really heightened security measures at the Supreme Court, as you would imagine. But if the commander-in-chief himself is going to show up, I might need to take a sleeping bag over there and get started early on the sidewalk.
I was just reading the story earlier about the Senate voting to nuke Trump's tariffs on Canada. 4 Republicans switched over and voted with the Democrats. It won't go anywhere because the House isn't in session. But is this the case next Wednesday of enough importance that they might ask the court to make a quick decision instead of waiting till June to release this?
I do think we'll have a more expedited return on this because they added it to the schedule. They shoehorned it in and moved some other cases around, which is a somewhat rare thing for the Supreme Court to do. So they're already signaling that they're fast-tracking it. So, yeah, I don't think it'll be one that we have to wait till June when all the biggies come out. I wouldn't be surprised if they got us a decision before the end of the year.
Wow.
With so much in play on the tariff front, I think the court is definitely moving it forward. It's jumping some normal hurdles.
Getting back to the lockdown or the government shutdown, the several Democrats in the last few days have kind of said the quiet part out loud, right? That they're using this as leverage. But when you're talking about 41 million Americans on food programs, that's a lot to leverage. Do you think this could backfire on them next Tuesday as the elections open in New Jersey and in different parts if it's still going on?
I mean, it's possible. I think that there are bigger issues in some of those races. But listen, in Virginia, which I cover that quite a bit, it's right there outside of D.C. The Northern Virginia area has such a heavy voting weight on that race that it involves a lot of federal workers. It involves a lot of military. So Virginia is a state, well, they're a commonwealth, but they're a place where I think that some of these shutdown issues could show up more than, say, in New Jersey or New York. I mean, they're certainly being impacted as well. But when you've got dozens of governors writing to the White House and reaching out saying, we don't have the funds to backfill the SNAP money that they need for these programs, there's going to be another level of pressure that turns up this weekend.
Yeah, you got to wonder about that. I heard that Spanberger is one of them, and the lady's name in New Jersey is escaping me, but are they campaigning together, did I read?
Well, meaning
Like making appearances.
Obama.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that there is some crossover. But the fact is, we're coming down to the stretch, the final wire here. The lead in New Jersey has closed. I mean, it's really tight there. The Chittarelli team is saying, we feel confident we can pull this off this weekend. There's more of a gap in Virginia. So we'll see. But, I mean, when you have President Obama and President Trump getting involved in these races, too, they're looking and knowing that, perception is reality in politics a lot. And they want to signal going into the midterms that they've got to win. Democrats they would traditionally be expected to win both of New Jersey and Virginia races. So if they lose one of them, I think for them it says more about the possibility that they're not going to have as great a midterm as that they're hoping for, because history tells them Democrats should have a really good one next year.
Yeah, it's a great point. Shannon, we'll be watching on Sunday. Thank you so much.
See you then.
Yep,
right,
take
have
care.
a great weekend.
You bet. Shannon Bream there, host of Fox News Sunday. You can listen to it at 4 o'clock. We will replay it if you miss it on TV. We'll replay it here on 97.1 FM Talk every Sunday. You're right. Like, how would you even decide how to stack a sheet? She's only got an hour. The time there just wouldn't be enough time for everything.
Right. You got the elections, you got the lockdown, you got all the different things. It's crazy. And what violence could erupt over the weekend, too, as some are predicting.
Maybe Griff Jenkins can talk to that. For all I know, the guy's off today because he was on the couch on Fox and Friends all week, and he's the new co-host of Fox and Friends Weekends. We'll get to him next.
I know I'm not the only one who moved into a home because you loved the home and had good bones, but maybe there's some spaces you wanted to upgrade and you said you've been doing it for a long time and you just never have gotten around to it. Could be a kitchen or a bathroom. It's not functional. You don't love it. Well, don't stress about it. You just need to call my friends at Lakeside Renovation and Design, and all you need to do is just share your vision with them because they're going to make that vision come to life. So they could create a beautiful spa-like bathroom, a custom kitchen for you. They could have a finished basement so you finally have the space to host your family and friends. Again, they're going to make the whole process easy because they're going to handle the planning, the permits, construction, all the stuff that typically stresses us out. They're going to handle all of that, and they have financing options like 0 payments and 0% interest for 24 months. So really, there's no better time to get started. Give them a call or check them out online, lakesiderd.com, and schedule your free consultation today. Again, it is lakesiderd.com.
License number E2014A.
Hey, it's good to see you.
Dad, that's what Grandpa Rip always said.
That's right. 50 years ago, Grandpa started Grasser, and whenever a customer called, he'd smile and say, "Hey, it's good to see you."
Hey, it's good to see you.
It was his way of treating people like neighbors, not numbers. That's why we still say it today.
Green is always Grasser at GrasserHomeServices.com.
Hey, it's good to see you.
Hey, with cooler weather moving in, don't put yourself at risk for a power outage. Get a free estimate on a Generac home standby generator from Generator Supercenter, the nation's #1 Generac generator dealer. This is all about giving yourself peace of mind by calling now for a free estimate. You won't have to worry about waiting on hold with the power company. No more worrying about your home when you're away. Get a free estimate on a generator from Generator Supercenter of St. Louis. Financing is available. 314-499-2020. Generator Supercenter of St. Louis.com.
I'm Nicole Murray with Your Money Now. Shell has reported a significant drop in third quarter profit, but beat analyst expectations, citing a strong operational performance. The London-listed company launched another $3.5 billion in share buybacks over the next 3 months. Bain & Company reports that in Indonesia, Thailand, and the Philippines, Chinese e-commerce players have quickly come to dominate around half of the online shopping market. The findings come as companies expand the Singles' Day shopping event from China to more countries this year. Alphabet has beaten Wall Street's expectations, reporting revenue of roughly $102.3 billion versus the nearly $100 billion expected. The company said it will increase its capital expenditures to a range of $91 to $93 billion for the 2025 year. That is up from $85 billion. Futures are moderately lower. Wednesday, the Dow Industrials lost 74. That's Your Money Now.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
We still have the signals on red flash on 141 at 6440. I really thought they would repair that this morning, but they haven't. And we've got a parking lot jam that goes back past Dutch Mill if you are northbound on 141. Also a slow go from, it looks like eastbound 64 ramping onto northbound 270. Northbound 270, most of the volume is moderate, and it stretches from 44 up through Ladue Road. Southbound a little slow at Page. Eastbound 70, we had some moderate volume at the Blanchette Bridge, but that's it. And 6440 looks pretty good out west. Moderate volume at Clarkson and again at Big Bend. And 55 northbound now looks pretty good in the construction zone to the north, right around Bayless. No delays if you're headed in on the bridges downtown. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Climate Masters. We specialize in older homes. Climate Masters Heating and Cooling. Trusted heating and cooling installation and maintenance service. Keeping the St. Louis Metro comfortable since 1978. Call us today at 314-968-8383. Climate Masters.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon for Underdog Fantasy, and football season is in full swing, and Underdog is simply the best place to get in on all of the action all season long. You can select entries and win money right now in Missouri, and it's super easy. It really is. Underdog is fun. It's easy. All you have to do is choose whether your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats. So for football, rushing yards, receptions, touchdowns, and more, you can make baseball entries. You can cross, mix and match with different sports. You can get your entries right, and you can win up to 5,000 times your cash. So download the app today. Sign up with the promo code MARKR, M-A-R-K-R. That gets you $100 in bonus funds or bonus entries when you play your first $5. Again, the promo code is MARKR, $100 in bonus funds or bonus entries when you play your first $5. Underdog. Make plays, win money. Must be 18 plus and present in Missouri. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play, call 800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. Underdog Fantasy.
Hi, I'm Bob Kershaw with Retirement Advisory Group. Are you worried about market volatility? Are you concerned your money won't last you through retirement?
Hi, I'm Tammy Kershaw, and as a family-owned business, we are committed to protecting your retirement, whether you're nearing retirement or already retired. We have a lot of folks that aren't aware of all the new investment choices that are available, which give you growth and protection from losses at the same time. Are you aware of all the fees that you are currently paying? We can show you how to avoid those fees. So come in now for your free retirement review and get a second opinion on your retirement plan. And just for coming in, you'll get a copy of our latest edition book, Your Key to a Worry-Free Retirement. Let us show you how to retire with confidence.
We are proud to say we haven't lost a penny of our clients' money in 39 years, and we won't lose a penny of yours either. Let our family help your family. Call us now at 314-993-9494 or go online to retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
Hey guys, Glover here for my friends at Triton Exteriors. Not sure if you've noticed, but the storms seem to be especially bad this spring. If you had James Hardy Smart Siding, you wouldn't have to worry about it. It's not going to be damaged like in the 314-day storm. So we do roofing, siding, gutters, fences. We're always going to be the middle bid. We're never going to cut corners. We're never going to take advantage of you. Call 314-717-1159 or triton-stl.com.
Built in the heartland, for the heartland. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
In Kyiv, Ukraine, Griff Jenkins, Fox News. Along the southern border, Griff Jenkins,
Fox News. At the White House, Griff Jenkins, Fox News. In St. Louis, Griff Jenkins, Fox News.
Tell me where in the world is
Griff Jenkins.
Watch your back.
All right, Griff, good morning, my friend. Have you recovered from that clown attack earlier this week?
Somehow I survived it, Mark. Let me tell you, I'm between my steadfast support of and defense of Taylor Swift on Fox, and then getting literally the slow-mo embarrassing bejesus scared out of me on live TV. People on Twitter were calling for my quote man card to be pulled. I will not succumb. I will not back down.
Don't surrender. Never surrender.
I thought of you earlier this morning. In fact, when we gave a story about a haunted car wash where people are scaring you inside the car wash as you go through it. I thought, I bet Griff would hate that too.
I love it. Listen, man, I'm 54, so I'm the age that grew up as a young person on Friday the 13th,
Yep.
Nightmare on Elm Street, Halloween. I mean, we are the generation that just loved being scared. I'm not sure we really liked it particularly back then, but it's in our DNA. And so, there's this debate about, is Halloween for kids only or adults too? I'm all in, adults as well. I actually, unfortunately, and I'll just further embarrass myself, but I was talking about this a little bit on the air. So I'm so far into Halloween, before the iPhone was invented, which unfortunately there's no pictures, or maybe it's fortuitous actually, I had stood for 6 hours and had a tattoo artist body paint me as a tiger. It's a friend of mine that I met years ago that used to do it for Broadway for that show Cats.
Yes.
And he did it for me back in about 1999, 2000. And I won this contest. It was awesome. I was like, the best costume by far. But the artist had me shave my whole body. He's like, you can't do it if you have body hair. So about a week later, I was clawing myself to death, itching to no end.
I can imagine.
I'll bet you were. For people that didn't see it, we were sitting here watching it. Ethan pointed it out to me. They had clowns sneak up behind the couch there on Fox and Friends and kind of surprise Griff, and he just about jumped out of his
one
skin,
with a chainsaw.
Well,
Let's add that. Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah. In fairness, so those were the actors that had been at the haunted house that Rachel, Charlie, and I had gone and visited. We did the package a segment or two earlier, and the producers wanted to actually scare us, which they accomplished their goal, by the way. But they had them hide behind that wall, and they pulled us out from a previous segment, like down in the green room, and that's when they snuck the actors in. Point of the story is when they came around both sides of the couch, I had this little pixie demon girl with electric paddles coming 50 miles an hour, low and fast. And so I had no idea what was coming at me. I heard a chainsaw. Rachel, too, by the way, wanted to run. I think Charlie saw something or was somehow in on it.
He was tipped.
He acted all cool.
He was tipped off.
Yep.
Yeah, that's funny.
Classic television, though. You will not live that clip down for decades.
No, I've got a feeling that's going to be on there. And in fact, Will Kane's producer said, "Hey, tomorrow's Halloween. Can you come on?" I'm like, "Okay,
okay. What are you doing?"
Got a feeling what they're going to play.
Oh man. Speaking of scary, the grocery stores can be scary on Saturday. Have you listened to all these threats? Listen to one. This one's off of TikTok yesterday. These people are so entitled in some ways that you want to feel bad for them, and then it's kind of hard to.
I'm literally not asking for help. I'm literally not asking for a job. I just want my benefits back. I don't feel the need to pay for food. I have food stamps since 2016. Yes, taxpayers. So, you trying to take it away now? I don't think so.
I mean, you want to feel bad for him, but there's a little bit of an entitlement feeling there. But you do. We've had people saying they're going to go to stores and rob people as they leave to take their groceries if they don't get their SNAP benefits.
Well, I mean, look, they could just steal a line from the great movie Fletch and send the bill to the Underhills.
Yeah,
rack up a big charge. And in this case, the Underhills would be the Democrat Party. There is a strong argument to be made that 42 million Americans, to include that woman, are going to lose their SNAP benefits, food stamps, come on Saturday because Democrats won't vote for a Biden CR. John Fetterman started calling it the Biden CR just this week, and I thought, how accurate is that? It's the exact same continuing resolution under President Biden with President Biden administration level spending that is in there, and all Republicans have said is open it back up and let's sit down and talk about the healthcare subsidies under Obamacare that you want to extend. And they won't. And I think that woman and a lot of other people are going to start thinking, wait a minute, this is Biden level CR and the Democrats won't open it back up. Who do you think they're going to blame? They're going to blame the Democrats. I saw a piece today, rumblings that some of the Democrats like Cortez Masto that has been voting for this to open things up is rumbling that there's a lot of talk in both parties amongst rank and file that they want to get this thing opened back up, the government opened back up, and to end this standoff, but that, quote, leadership was in the way. We'll see if there's any movement, but the reality is this is Washington. Things don't happen fast. So I think we're probably going to see this one at least achieve a downside achievement in history, which is going to be the longest shutdown in history.
Right. And, it'd be interesting to see the impact if it's still going on next Tuesday when key elections are going to be held in New Jersey and Virginia and New York City. I mean, it could very well backfire on the Democrats if this is continuing. But, one thing I want one thing that I've not seen on any other major network, and I'd love to see you on the weekend show, bring this graphic forward, that the federal spending on SNAP since 2019 has increased well over 200%. In other words, in 2019, it was only $62 billion. It's $142 billion today. So in 5 years, that program's more than doubled. What's up with that? And do people, are they aware that SNAP grew that much?
Man, that is fantastic, Dan. And you're actually educating me. I will look that up.
No, nobody's talking about that, right? Nobody's talking about that.
Is that from the CBO?
Yeah, that's from the federal spending. Yeah, the federal spending report shows it clear as day. $62 billion in 2019, $142 billion today, 5 years later under the Biden administration.
It's a great point. And, even more so, Republicans are saying we'll agree to that. Even though that's outrageous increases, we'll agree to that to get the government back open. And to your point about, the election day, this is definitely, look, they're going to take the 15th vote today. It's going to fail, and then they're going to leave town. And they're not going to be back until Election Day. And even then, when you reopen the government, remember, you're going to have the House and the Senate match up to actually get the thing done, which takes a couple of days. And so this is going to go on. There's zero chance this ends before Election Day, I think.
It's a great
sort
point.
of my estimation.
Well, Griff, we appreciate you, my friend. Did you at least get a day off? Because you worked all week, and now you got to work this weekend, right? Fox and Friends weekend?
That's it. Yeah, I'm sitting in a hotel in New York. I just did a little soul cycle trying to get around. It's raining here, but they're asking me to come in this afternoon to do a little bit of work. And then, of course, I'll be rightfully ridiculed on Halloween tomorrow, both on Fox and Friends to preview the weekend and on Will Kane. So, but I'll tell you this: don't tell anybody. I'm having a blast. I'm having too much fun. I do it even if they didn't pay me, but somehow I got to pay for Soul Cycle.
It's not work if you love what you do. Griff, thank you, my friend.
Hey guys, have a great weekend. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween to you. A guy who loves Halloween. He
Sounds
professed.
like it.
Yeah.
To have your body shaved, to have it painted. Wow.
Dude, did you ever have like a crazy costume? My sister one time put Elmer's glue all over my face, neck, and hands and made me a werewolf. Stuck spray painted. Yeah, she spray painted cotton balls brown and then stuck them to my face with Elmer's glue.
Oh, my God.
Can you imagine how painful
No,
that was
I can't.
coming off? Oh, my God. It was terrible.
You have to soak you in a tub or what?
But I did win the city best costume. She was a makeup artist, and
bet.
she was incredible.
I didn't do anything that crazy for sure.
Yeah.
I did wear a Hillary Clinton mask and a orange jumpsuit around my neighborhood one time. couple years ago
That's
when
good.
the kids were trick-or-treating to
that
volunteer.
would be popular.
Them.
That
Got
would-
chewed out only by one old lady.
That's
who
all
didn't
right.
appreciate it very
No.
much. But.
Yeah, get a sense of humor.
Yeah,
it's
no
Halloween.
kidding.
Come on.
All right, we're going to be back in a minute. We've talked about the SNAP benefits being cut off, the demand that's probably going to be faced by food pantries everywhere. We're going to talk to our friends at Operation Food Search when we come back.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
There was an accident on southbound 270 south of Page. They got that moved off to the shoulder, but still some slow-moving traffic through there. And it's traffic signals on red flash that have caused the huge delay, 141 at 6440 this morning. I mean, northbound is really jammed, and it's lined up near Dutch Mill. So it's a slow go through there this morning. Now, if you're northbound on 270, it's still moderate volume, Doherty Ferry on up through the Clayton Road overpass, but for the most part, we have thinned out nicely. If you're headed in from Illinois, no delays on the bridges downtown. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
All right, you have a great opportunity here because tomorrow is Halloween, as we've talked about. If you reach out to my friend Darren at Rhino Shield today or tomorrow, you can lock in 2025 pricing, even if they can't get to your Rhino Shield application until the spring. It's a great thing about it. It takes them. This is a professional job that they do. It takes 3 to 5 days, usually the better part of a week. They put 2 to 3 coats on your house, and then you're covered because it's 10 times thicker than that regular old thin paint you get at the big box store. And it protects your house. It waterproofs it. It's beautifully durable. The colors are great. But it takes them about a little period of time to put it on. Now, if they hit cold enough weather, they're going to have to stop for the year. Usually that's sometime between now and Thanksgiving. And then they'll start up again in March. So you can reach out to Darren today. Let him come over, give you your free evaluation, lock in your 2025 pricing, and if need be, they'll do your Rhino Shield job in the spring, and then you're still way ahead of the game. I'm a satisfied customer. Had it on my last house. Beautiful, lasted forever, and it was just great. So call them today at 877-25-RHINO. Tell Darren you heard Marc Cox talking about it. You want your free evaluation, or go online to 877-25rhino.com.
Hey, it's Kenny Wallace. A big congratulations to 97.1 FM Talk. 25 years strong as St. Louis's conservative voice. For me, 97.1 means more common sense. Here's to the next 25 years.
Don't get lulled into believing the IRS is getting soft. It's just the opposite. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. We are being told by IRS collection officers that their higher-ups are demanding that they get more aggressive than ever. So don't ignore them any longer. Level up. If you have unfiled returns, unpaid taxes, levies, or liens, call the Lance Story Law Firm today and let us get between you and the IRS. We'll protect your rights, including your right to appeal or even your right to take the IRS to tax court. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems, and they need to be handled by an expert attorney team who's done it for decades. So call the Lance Story Law Firm today. We're local. Our office is right here in St. Louis, or visit Lance, DRURY, law.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm, the Lance Story Law Firm, 314-260-6120.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Want immediate cash for your home or see what your home is really worth in today's market? Find out for free from the local experts. My friends Mark and Neil Gelman of eXp Realty, 314-336-1991. Check out thegelmanteam.com today. That's thegelmanteam.com.
Sponsored by Progressive. We make the claims process easy so you could get back on the road in no time. It's why over 43 million drivers trust Progressive. See for yourself at Progressive.com.
This is the Marc Cox Morning Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
All right, big fundraiser held last night for Operation Food Search, and clearly demand is going to be up as the government shutdown continues, and a lot of people who depend on SNAP, their cards won't have any money added to them on November 1st, which is Saturday, and therefore people are going to be looking elsewhere for food. That's going to put a big demand on our pantries. We've got Carlton Adams with us this morning, Chief Ops Officer for Operation Food Search. And Carlton, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm fine, Mark. How are you? And thank you.
Oh, absolutely. So I know you guys had an event last night down at the Foundry where people could show up and drop food off, and I'm sure that was a big success for you. But what is the need like right now?
Well, Mark, the need is really intense right now. And so, as you mentioned, the change in SNAP benefits hasn't happened yet. But we have seen over the past several months an increase in demand at the pantries that we serve the community through. So that's been increasing on a regular basis going into this. So I don't know that it's only impacted by that, but there are several things that change it. So as an example, the YMCA has a pantry at Scott Air Force Base, and they've seen about a 30% increase.
Wow. So that includes active duty military over there, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. And that they too have gone the whole month of October without paychecks. So, in some cases, I know the active military, but I don't believe the reservists and different folks are getting it. So that demand's going to continue. But walk us specifically through what your anticipation is with the SNAP cutoff. I mean, that's 650,000 people just in the state of Missouri who received that benefit. What's that demand going to look like at all of your various community pantries?
Well, so as you said, it impacts hundreds of thousands of people around the state and in our region. So we expect that demand to continue to go up. I mean, because there are a couple of things that are going to happen. So first, households won't have that, additional funding for going to grocery stores. And so that's one piece of it. But also remember that for those that are food insecure, getting to a grocery store can be a challenge in and of itself. So then they're making decisions about, do I have the funds to take care of shelter? Do I have the funds to take care of getting the kids to school and those types of things versus as much food as we would normally like to have in the home? So they're going to be making those types of decisions. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, Carlton, the food desert is always an issue, right? You always access to good food. I can't imagine that some of these inner city grocery stores are going to be able to make it when such a huge portion of their business is EBT cards. I mean, is the SNAP program. How are they going to get by and be able to work if they don't have that 50-60% of their income coming in?
Mark, that's a question that we've been asking for some time. So you're absolutely right. So what defines a food desert is not only just the area around how far it is to get to a grocery store, but because that revenue is going to be hit. In fact, some grocery stores may not make it, especially if this goes on for a long, extended period of time. Those that are, just on the edge of a food desert, if you will, are probably working very hard just to stay in business as it is. And if that gets worse, then the food desert footprint just gets even bigger.
Well, Carlton Adams, our guest, Chief Operating Officer at Operation Food Search. Let's get to the important stuff here. How can people help? I guess an online donation would be a direct way to help immediately, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Donations, we put that money to work buying food for our neighbors right away. You can go online, again, to operationfoodsearch.org. And you can find a meal map for where you can find food. That will take you to, say, some of our pantry partners. You can donate directly to the pantries. You can donate to us, whether that's food or dollars. We certainly will take both and put them to use right away into the community.
And are there certain types of food, obviously non-perishable, long shelf life, canned goods? What specifically are the needs that you're encouraging?
Yeah, so absolutely, just as you described. So canned goods are always great. All that is important all the time. You can drop that off to us here at Operation Food Search, again, directly to a pantry. Even perishables, you can bring those to our door here in Overton at 1644 Lotzie Boulevard, just right off the page. And between 12 and 4 on weekdays, we can take perishable donations as well. So we're happy to do that.
Carlton, we've run out of time here, but OperationFoodSearch.org is a great clearinghouse for all that information. Best of luck with everything. Let us know if we can help.
Thanks, Mark.
You bet. Thank you. Carlton Adams there with Operation Food Search. We'll talk more about helping veterans next, maybe tomorrow, heading into the weekend as well. Have a great day. We'll see you on Friday.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody. Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh.